Let's give it a couple of minutes. Let folks get in the let people get into the room. So we'll give it a couple of more minutes. Give it a second. You're tuned in to the Iceman Show. I am your host, the Iceman. More bounce to the ounce, and I say what counts. Don't nobody go home till the fat man fucks. What's happening, chocolate people? I am your host, Don Corleone. Don Cornelius. It's gonna be a stone gas, honey. We're gonna have the mighty, mighty, mighty OJs in the house singing Backstabbers. Backstabbers. Here, take this knuckle. You know how black people do. And then we're gonna have Ray Parker Jr. and Radio singing their new hit song. Jack went up in jail, all up on the hill. And then because he didn't satisfy, she got on her cell phone and called Bill. Ha ha! It's like an old friend of mine used to say, if a bitch jump in water, if she can't swim, man, she bound to drizzle. What's happening, y'all? We're in the place to be with the Iceman on a Saturday afternoon. I was going to start earlier, but I got caught up in some things. Plus, I went ahead and ate my wings. Because you guys know I don't play that shit. You ain't going to keep me from my wings, man. Know how y'all like to do. Ain't nobody gonna get between me and my wings. And they was good. Decided to go ahead and eat earlier rather than eat later. You digs? Here we go with that old bullshit. Yeah, here we go with that old bullshit. You know what? As you guys can see already, what up? What up, Brown Sauces? Appreciate the donation, brother. By the way, ladies and gentlemen, it is $10 Saturday. Like to thank all of those folks who got the automatic recurring donation thing going on a weekly basis. I really appreciate it, especially you, Brown Sausage. You've been rolling with me since day one. That means we fam, bruh. We fam. So I appreciate it, man. You always had my back. I see the white supremacists. I see Walmart and AutoZone gave everybody the day off, as y'all can see. As y'all can see. I'm talking to the folks on the YouTube side. Well, you know, it seemed like every other Saturday, the scums, you know, I guess they all ask for a time off at their Walmart and AutoZone jobs. So they all get together and congregate on my channel, Mad Voodoo Man. This is my channel. those of you who want to follow me on the YouTube side, you guys can get at the Iceman. My channel is Mad Voodoo Man. Mad Voodoo Man, one word, on YouTube. Once you put my channel information in the search category, a real fine ass sister will pop up. Okay, so you know that's my channel, because I ain't gonna put no sisters that ain't got it popping. You digs? So I got that going on. So go over there and follow me. Also, those of you who want to follow me outside of Facebook and YouTube, go to my Iceman Show podcast official Twitter page, The Iceman Show at Mr. Freeze. Follow me on Twitter to get the up-to-date information on the Iceman Show and my fundraising activities. Like, keep you guys in the know. Follow me on Twitter. And then on Instagram, you can get at me, The Iceman Show. That's it. That's all you got to put in, The Iceman Show. And my Instagram page will pop up. Also, if you want to listen to old shows of the Iceman from like 2011, you can go to Blog Talk Radio and go to blogtalkradio.com/The Iceman Show, and all those old shows will pop up. Okay? So you'll peep that. Go ahead and peep that, yo. Kind of wanted to wait a few more minutes to let some more people get in the room. A lot of folks are in the place to be, even though it ain't 1983. Yeah, digs. Got a lot of things popping. We got a whole lot of things popping in the news, y'all. Got a lot of idiots. Trump is doing his thing with being a scumbag. President Pinocchio, aka the Orange Julius. And for some reason, everybody keeps following this dude. Ain't nothing he's saying is important. He has nothing to say. There's nothing he could say other than, hey, there's a nuke headed your way. You might want to get up under your building. That's the only time I would pay attention to him. When he's saying all this ridiculous stuff about crap hole countries and, you know, and just saying stuff to ignite his base. They're just dog whistle statements to, you know, the out lice movement people and the mayonnaise mafia and the Nutella mafia. That's his dog whistle to them. All the SSI crowd. You know, all them little funny looking inbreds, you know, with their bellies way out, all swole out here, going to Walmart, getting a case of Pabst Blue Ribbon for the night off their SSI check. He's trying to send dog whistle statements to them, his base. Damn, I look like Morgan Freeman up in this motherfucker. Had a couple people look at me crazy, like, man, you growing a beard? I said, yeah, but you know, I don't put no color on it. You know, say, like, nigga, you look like Fred Sanford up in this mug. Like, that's how I look on camera. I look like motherfucking Frederick Douglass up in here without the hair, without the fro. But the scums are busy. The scums are busy raising hell as they always have done. And the unfortunate thing is that a lot of us are asleep at the wheel. A lot of us have the attitude that white supremacy can't touch me because I'm cool with all the white folks at my job. They ain't gonna never fire me. All right. You could think, sometimes you are the pet Negro. Sometimes you are the pet Negro at work. But just like pets, sometimes when they get old, people put their ass out or take their ass to the dog pound, be like, hey, I don't want this old motherfucker. I try to walk with this motherfucker, he can't even walk. He old as a motherfucker. See them old broke dick dogs out there. Motherfucker them put their ass out. Remember, I was working on my master's degree about 5 years ago. This lady, somebody put some little Shih Tzu dog out, old ass male dog, and he just wandering around. And this black lady lived down the street from me. She was like, "Well, I've been feeding him, but I don't know where he go to sleep." And it's just sad, man. But they're gonna get tired of you. You're gonna become the old Negro at some point. And you're going to be in the same position them folks are in. That's why I try to teach these lectures on white supremacy, because it's not an accident that you see all of these little young brothers and sisters getting killed out here, either by race soldiers posing as police officers or deputized white supremacist citizens. This is not an accident, people. Rahowa is in effect. There's a race war going on and you ain't even paying attention, because it's easier for you to sit here and just do nothing and say, well, never touch me. Well, all the folks that have been killed in the last 5, 6, 7, 8 years by race soldiers posing as cops and deputized white supremacist citizens, where have you been? People just getting killed, having contact with the police, and you think it's an accident? Or it's just, look, man, we can't have that many coincidences. Okay? That's what scientists say. That's why they base everything. Well, I got trained as a social scientist. You raise a hypothesis and then you do the research to prove it. And if you can't prove it, if you do the statistics and the standard deviation is below, above or below 0.50 or 0.5, then it's not statistically viable. And you got to either find some other kind of way to prove your hypothesis, or if you do find do your research for your hypothesis, when you do your conclusion, you got to put all that together in your thesis, conclusion. That's how scientists think. It is not a coincidence or a coinky dink that all these black people are ending up dead. Men, women, and children. How is that happening? A scientist would say it's not a coincidence or coinky dink. And we some fools if we do think this is some if we think this is some nonsensical situation going on. He said a mandingo pick. Oh man, Triple T kill. What happened, brother? Elaborate. That sounds like that's gonna be funny right there. But peep this here. This is, black folks, again, black folks like to sit here and pretend like this stuff is not happening. But by the way, let me just say this, because I don't, somebody is always gonna accuse somebody who's out here, especially somebody like me. They're gonna accuse me of telling you a bunch of, or saying that, they're gonna accuse me of being being acrimonious toward black folks. I mean, toward white people, toward Caucasian people. Let me explain something to you. All Caucasian people are not white supremacists. Let's get that straight. But let's be honest. A lot of them are. And they're either straight up white supremacists, or they're white supremacist deniers, and they sit on their hands and do nothing while other people suffer in front of them. They're one or the other. But they're all but that person is still a sympathizer of white supremacy. Let's get that straight. Because I don't want Caucasian people thinking I got a problem with them. I don't have a problem with you. I only have a problem with people that do things to me. I don't care what color they are. Because you hear me all the time talking about my family and how dysfunctional they are. And there's such lame males. They're beta males. They can't take the truth. So they got to go run like little females. That's what little females do. Or what we used to call in the hood, little old hoe. There's a couple little old hoes. They got to run. See, that's not a man. I'm going to get into that in the second hour. Okay? Why black men refuse to fight white supremacy. And why you have so many Sambo black men and coonish black men running around here kissing ass and making things harder for people like myself who are trying to make a difference. Because you have to understand something. These people are being violent toward us because they're telling you right here, right now, we want to kill you. And we want to kill as many of you as possible. We are having a black president for 8 years already scared us, even though, he was weak. But that still, we don't want no nigger in office. That scares us. But they're going after soft targets, elderly, homeless black men, women, children. You even got some of these other races getting into the party for free, crashing the party. Asian dudes socking black women in the mouth. Now, granted, that partially is black women's fault. From 50 years ago, with joining with white supremacist feminists to go against black men, but they also screwed up because of their some of their ignorance, selective ignorance. Now they have no man to protect them, because you can say what you want to say, ladies. You can have a man that's 6'3" and you'll still get your ass whooped, and the guy that whoops his ass will end up fucking you both. While your Mr. 6'3" is a little bitch, because he ain't about that life, which a lot of black men today aren't. They can't take an ass whooping. They'll be on the ground, just like you. They beat my ass. He'd be on the ground next to you, crying like a little bitch. That's why I tell women, when I meet women, they say, well, you about 5'8". They be like, but you know, you big though. You look like a physical guy that would scrap with somebody. I said, yeah, get off that bullshit. You stupid if you ain't willing to date a man of any height that can handle himself. You could be around a man 5 minutes and tell he a bitch or not. And you ain't got to say little dumb ghetto stuff to him like some black women do. Trying to incite a damn riot in public. Your mama a hoe, huh? What you say about my mama, bitch? Okay? She's like, I was just testing you. You ain't call me no bitch. Like I said, these the more turkey neck Caucasian women, especially these old white supremacists. You know, they act like they can't sit next to you in the waiting room. They got to sit halfway cause like you want something from they old. And even if, you know, most of the young white women, I don't really get too much static from them. It's the old ones. Because it's a lot of old, ancient Caucasian women up here. Not silver foxes. I still bone a silver fox. No, these are prehistoric bitches. These is T-Rex bitches because all of them got little short arms. They act like they want to get some weenie from you and then turn around and call the police on your ass the next second. You can't trust none of them folk, man. And like I said, I'm talking about the white supremacists. I ain't talking about all Caucasian people because some Caucasian people have been cool to me. But like I said, most of them have not been. And I'm just speaking from truth. I ain't pointing fingers at nobody personally. But you know, on this show, I tell the truth. I ain't gonna sit here and lie. You know, there's a reason why you tune in, because you want some truth. Because you ain't gonna get it on CNN, MSNBC, or ABC, or CBS, or NBC. You ain't gonna get no real news on there. All you gonna get is white supremacist conjecture, and sensational propaganda. That's all you're gonna get on there. And I think a lot of people are getting sick of that. That's why a lot of these NBC, CBS, and ABC had to go start a lot of these cable channels. Because people stop watching NBC and CBS and ABC. Primetime shit. When they say primetime programming slots, that's what they're talking about. That used to be an automatic 5 million, 10 million, 20 million people watching. Guaranteed. But after the Cosby Show era went off the air and they start putting all this whack ass, real honky type bullshit ass shows, people of color stop watching. And even a lot of Caucasian people in the country stop watching because this stuff wasn't realistic. All in the family. See, I grew up on All in the Family, the Jeffersons, Good Times, What's Happening, That's My Mama. I grew up on that stuff. Okay? I'm not saying we should go back to that. What I'm saying is, and I wrote about this, by the way. Let's do this. You have to get through this before it starts getting dark, because for some reason it's sunny out here, but ain't that? It look like it's getting gloomy already. My book right here, The Game of Life According to the Iceman, Volume 1. You can get this book. This is my first book. You can get this at Amazon.com. You can get the paperback version, or you can get tablet or Kindle version. Also, my book, The Game of Life According to the Iceman, Volume 1, you can get a paperback at asktheiceman.com. If you want an autographed copy, it'll calculate the tax and it'll calculate the postage, and I will autograph it and send it to you, and you'll get it within a week. And by the way, I sent out, for those people who have donated over $100, I sent out t-shirts today. So you guys should be getting your t-shirts by Tuesday or Wednesday of this week. Okay. All of those guys who donated over $100, you get a t-shirt. So I sent that to you. And I threw a couple other goodies in there. So you guys ought to be expecting those t-shirts. But I talk about that in The Game of Life According to the Iceman, Volume 1, my first book. I talk about that stuff. I get deep into that and why you got to keep your head on a swivel. You cannot have the mentality that, you know, oh, okay. Oh, okay. Oh, all right, man. I was like, who is this cat? Yeah, man. Yeah, I was like, who is this cat? Yeah, you keep me from my wings, bruh. Now I'm just bullshit. Oh, man. I appreciate the donation, brother. For real. For real. Yeah, my man Dre been rolling with me for a minute. Welcome to the ride, y'all. But this is, I get into that in my book. I get into that stuff. And again, I'm not saying we should be against Caucasian people, because that's stupid. Everybody ain't the same. Everybody ain't on that bullshit. And you should never accuse anybody of being on that or point your finger at somebody you don't know. If you don't know their behavior and what their behavior tells you about them, you have to sit there and wait till those folks show you what it is you're trying to point out, which is, hey, he a white supremacist. No, you don't go around doing that. You don't do that, because that's gonna put you on the defensive, and you'll never need to be on the defensive, because now you're on your heels. And that's not a good place for you to be. Not a good place for you. Not with these folks, because these folks are dangerous. Look what they do to their own people. This dude up here in Colorado killed his pregnant wife and daughter. I don't know what that was about. Okay? A lot of them kill their kids with ill repute. Okay? And will go to work like nothing ever happened. Ain't like they're going to go in there, yeah, I went ahead and killed the bitch. The bitch started talking shit. I went ahead and fucked her ass straight on up. But I'm here at work because, I want to keep my job. I want to make sure that, I can pay my rent. But Mr. Boss Man, I just want to let you know, in case they come up in here and the po-po run up in here and they want to put me in shackles, I'm just letting you know, before you hear from them, I killed the bitch. Like I was saying earlier, for those of you who just joined us, the white supremacists, the Nutella / mayonnaise mafia is in the house. Walmart and AutoZone let Dewey and Dudley off for the day. So now they're on my platform trying to raise hell. So make sure we keep an eye on them. Brown Sauce is just still a mod. I don't know who else I got modded up. It might be Human Paradox or Google Son. Hopefully they'll be in the house in a minute here. But I wanted to start earlier because I don't want to be on here all night like we usually are, and then I end up missing stuff. Because I was gonna go out and shake my ass. I was gonna go out last week. I was thinking about it anyway, and I ain't laying no clothes out or nothing. But I was like, damn, I should go back out. Plus, a lot of the malls, a lot of the real nice malls were having sales. Macy's, Nordstrom's, a lot of those stores were having sales for some reason. I guess they're trying to get rid of all of the spring stuff. So I was gonna go up there and peep that out. But I was like, nah, it's too late. So we gonna get all, I'm gonna hit all my points, but we're gonna move this along. Anyway, as you can see all over the world, no matter what continent you happen to live on, you have these Caucasian occupiers, these white supremacists. And as you know, I've been saying for 8 years on this show, since the inception of the Iceman show, I've been saying that, you know, how dare some of these people, you know, go and steal somebody else's land, suck all the resources out of that land and the people, and then turn around. We're gonna start killing folks. We're gonna kill you. You got a lot of goddamn nerve. And you get 97% of our income because we're consumer dummies? Oh, hell no. See, if you're not angry right now as a black person, something's wrong with you. See, this is where, and I'm gonna kind of cross paths on, you know, what I was gonna talk about the second hour, which is why black men don't fight white supremacy. But I'm gonna get into a little of that right now. You know, when you're totally dependent on your oppressor providing you jobs so that you can buy your daily bread for you and your family, there's no wonder that we have 80-something% black females heading households. It's no wonder that unemployment in the black community for black men is somewhere around 60-70%. And for black women, it's about 40 to 50%. It's ridiculous. It's no wonder when you go to work, there's a buck dancing coon over there. Y'all's a boss and y'all's a sir. Y'all's a sir. What you like me? Whose balls can I lick now, sir? That old shiny nigga. Teeth, just. Y'all's a sir. Would you like some tea? Nigga, y'all need to serve me in a goddamn tea. This ain't a goddamn garden party. You at work. We do welding. Now get your black ass over there and get the welding. It's like that argument it's like that statement they always say when they go to a foreign country or they go into an area where the people are poor or lower middle class. And they always say, well, when we bring this plant in here, we're going to provide 500 jobs. We're going to provide 500 jobs. And it's like, wait a minute, you're going to come in here and steal land that our great grandparents had, and you're going to come in here and build this plant. You're going to pollute all the rivers and streams around here. So all the places, all the idyllic places that we grew up, that was somewhere out of a Mark Twain novel. You can't even get in the water because y'all polluting it. And you talking about you going to get 500 jobs? They're going to bring in about 250 people, and then maybe they'll give the rest of y'all some jobs. That's how they get people to go for those sweetheart deals. And they come in there and the local people get pimped. Well, that's the way black folks are being done all over the world. I ain't just, look, when I say black, I'm talking about Asian, everybody, so-called Latinos, talking about everybody that got a little melanin in them. All over the world. Before 1970, everybody was black. They didn't dice us up in little groups. They said, hey, if you ain't white, you black. Now they're changing that, and that's why they have to do what they do in this country, which is called create dissension amongst the races, make them think they're all competing against each other, when in actuality, there's no reason to. That's just to keep your eyes off of them stealing. Because you got 1%ers who control 90% of the resources. So the other, you mean tell me that the other 10%, that's what we fighting over? That's what the economists say. And while we fighting each other and thinking each other is the problem, people like Donald Trump speed that process up with handing over more resources to all the rich folks in this country, but also including the oligarchs in Russia and the Chinese government, giving them sweetheart backdoor deals. That's what happens. And we all get sold out. Those of us who need to feed our families, send our kids to college, we all get screwed. We all get screwed. But what these dumbass white supremacists don't understand is that they fare just as bad as we do. They don't come from anything. That's why you think they make so many movies about poor white trash in this country. They don't make them kind of movies because they're just easy to make. They make those kind of movies because the kind of white folks that you see on CNBC talking about the rich and famous and all this old kind of shit, man, that only represents about 5% of the country. The rest of the country is eating Nutella and mayonnaise sandwiches. Okay? But what the media does is they always try to show a step up, and all levels of Caucasian people and socioeconomic levels, they all can get with it because, you know, white folks are the biggest fronters on the planet. They're all about fronting. That's what white supremacy is. White supremacy is all deception. Make it look like I'm the shit when I really ain't. That's why, and I've even talked to white dudes, Caucasian dudes, who said, man, we got a lot of pressure on us, man. I got to fit into a box. And if I don't fit in that box, I get kicked out the club. It took me years to figure that out. I'm not saying they deserve a pass because of that. And I'm not that wasn't a plea for empathy or sympathy either for them. What I'm saying is, when you go around the world and you tell everybody else they ain't shit and you the shit, that's a tall order to fill. Especially when we all know that that's not the case. And I'm not just talking about at the Olympics or watching the NBA or watching NFL football, college football, and baseball, and tennis, and golf. Should I keep going? Badminton? Huh? Once black folks get used to, you know, can tolerate getting sand in their ass, we're gonna get into beach volleyball. You know how black women like to wear stuff up in their crack. Oh, for sure, my man. Oh yeah, Mr. Coleman. Yeah, we definitely gotta chop it up, young blood. For sure. Oh yeah. How's you and the family, bruh? Hope everything's good. Down there in the Lone Star State. Shit, I miss Austin, man. Shit, that was my old stomping ground. Austin got a little bit better pool of women, but there's still a lot of hood rats up there. Still a lot of hood rats in Austin. So there's so much stuff happening, so much deception going on. And a lot of people get distracted. And they don't seem to really understand what's really going on out here. And that's why we get kicked in the ass by surprise all the time. We get kicked in the ass all the time because we ain't never on point. When you're not on code and you have no code of honor, you're gonna be getting your ass kicked. And that's the way it looks today. That's how black folks look. We're getting our asses kicked. Everybody's getting their licks in. Now you got some of these other races trying to get in on the fun. You think at some point we're gonna have to retaliate. That's why I let folks know. If I think some shenanigans are going on around where I am, whether I'm at home or at my car, or I'm coming out the athletic club, I'm going wherever I, might happen to be. Let me tell you something. If some things is going on that ain't got no business going on, and somebody trying to step to me, I let them know that I will get violent. There ain't no question that this old man is gonna get violent. I ain't even gonna play with you. You're gonna look up and you're gonna be on the ground. I was looking at Frontline. I don't know if you guys have PBS channel, but I got a PBS channel. That's why I'll be looking at Skip the Truth Gates show. Dr. Skip the Truth Gates. His little genetics show. I watched that. There's a show on there, been on there 6-7 months. I ain't even watched it. It's brand new. Got Carmelo Anthony, I think, or somebody on there. It was a couple of black folks on there. But anyway, they were talking about white supremacist groups. Adam Waffen, which is an international white supremacist group. Whenever you see these guys with the Punisher hat on, you see them with black boots with white laces. That means they haven't killed a black person yet. When you see them with them black combat boots and they have red shoelaces, that means they have spilled the blood of a black person. The Greek dude that was that shot up that Santa Fe, Texas high school near Houston, he's in Adam Waffen. And this is I think they're out of Adam Waffen is out of Sweden or Norway. Out of one of those I think they started over there. You see these guys with Norwegian tattoos or Swedish tattoos, they're white supremacists. I see guys up here with that shit. And they're always looking at me frowning, looking like that, looking stank face. I don't say none of them white dudes in there. And they be looking at me like, oh, he ain't gonna kiss the ring. No. I ain't never kissed no white man's ring, and I never will. You better go ask somebody. I ain't never had to get down like that. I'll treat you with, I'll show you respect, but you gonna show me mutual respect. You ain't gonna walk up to my grown ass and pat me on the head, are you? No. You know better not to do that. Unless you want to get your ass kicked. That's why I believe in fitness. I might not be in the shape I was in 20 years ago, but I don't move like no old ass man either. I'm in there kicking bags and hitting bags, doing boxing stuff, you know, practicing martial arts stuff. I see them Caucasian folks looking at me. I see them over there looking worried because they're very insecure, the males and the females, very insecure. That's why, if you notice, a lot, and I think this is indicative of, I'm gonna say most Caucasians, a lot of them are insecure, and they feel that's how they feel uncomfortable around strong black men. Now, you think that might be a turn on for Caucasian women, maybe, but again, we don't talk interracial dating on here. I don't endorse interracial dating, even though I've done it. I somewhat believe you can find love in all colors, but I want to know what your motive is first. Because if you're an old sea hag and you sniffing around me, I know you up to no good. You're either trying to, you know, find a safe haven because you got one foot on a banana, you got one foot in the grave and another foot on a banana peel, or you trying to get money. And you can't get it from Charlie no more. So now you over here sniffing around the Iceman's balls. Either way, you ain't fooling me. You might fool these niggas. You ain't fool me. You ain't gonna fool me. I'm gonna tell you that right here, right now. You don't fool me, player. I know you get down. Historically. That's why you can never date a Caucasian woman and think you're equal. You're never equal. They I don't care how liberal they claim to be. They don't see you as an equal. They might fuck you. They might marry you. They might have kids with you. They still don't see you as an equal. Now, you can get mad and dispute that all you want. I'm telling you what the research says, and I'm telling you what life experience says. They do not see you as an equal. They see you as a refuge. That's why they only, if you're young, they only want to mess with you. Maybe they're on some type of mandingo death wish. I don't know. I don't think you don't get too much of that like back in my day. Maybe they think you about to make some money, so they trying to hitch a ride. Whatever it is, you know, they like I said, they taught black women how to be parasites. Okay? That's why your woman's head's all fucked up, because she's trying to do everything that Caucasian women do. That shit don't work in our community. You try to pull that in our community, you end up single. You end up dying alone. You end up being a lesbian because you can't find a man to tolerate your boogaloo, bad behaving ass. I mean, black women, the first thing they think is you should be willing to tolerate my bullshit in exchange for some ass. And then when you break stage left, then they want to say, you nigga just want you just want an old white woman. You just want an old Mexican or something. You don't want no black woman. No, we don't want to argue. I don't want to argue with you. I don't want to argue over dumb shit. I want to go see Medea. Then take your ass over there with one of your friends and see a double header, a double feature of Medea goes up her own ass and Mamma Mia in Compton. You go see both of them movies together. You and your little friends. Because I ain't going to see that shit. We ain't gonna get none. You know what? You play that one night with me, I guarantee that'd be the last night you play that shit. You could best believe after that, I'm leaving you alone. Matter of fact, don't come bring your ass back by my house. Don't even bring your ass home. Oh, bring your ass back over here. Just sitting up here just to say you with a black woman. Come on, man. Black women, that ain't practical for us to hang around for that bullshit. And you know it. And you know it's bullshit. Oh, these black women know that shit is bullshit. But they love to keep playing them games because a lot of them don't think they're ever going to get too old. And that's possible. Like I said, when you take the wheat, that wheat nut out of, have you ever seen wheat? You take, it looks like a little nut. You take that out of that and all the rest of it is just wheat husk. They can't do nothing with that. I think they do something. I think they can do something with it. You know, it might be some type of thing that they may use. But I know as far as food is concerned, there's nothing left of that wheat. It's called chaff or something like that. And what you see left out here scattered around is chaff, is garbage. It's what's left. It's what we don't need. Those are the black women who are single. And they range from very attractive all the way down to just boogaloo ugly. They are who they are. Or they smoke. I remember one time I went to Bonefish Grill, somewhere like that over there in St. Louis Park over there in Minneapolis. And there's a bar that turns into a club over there. I forgot the name of it, but it used to be Filio's, and which is one of my cousin's favorite spots. They had two locations. They had one over there in Uptown, and then they had that, which was the original one, the pimpish one. And then they had that one over there in St. Louis Park. And I guess they wasn't, the money wasn't right. So the next time I visited months later or a year later, they had closed that mug. They turned into something else. And so there's a Mexican restaurant called Rojo something across the street. Then at the big theater, they got a big old Cineplex theater with the stadium seats and all. It's a badass theater. Oh, they spent about $400 million in that little city. They spent bank because it wasn't nothing there but an office park. Now they got a store over there, a nice grocery store that has a lot of nice, it's a Cub Foods over there. Used to be Rainbow. And they had some good, when I go to Minneapolis, I always stop by there because they always had that fried chicken sitting out there, that pizza, burritos, sandwiches. And I usually stay in a Town Place Suites or Spring Hill Suites, Marriott, one of them two, right there across the street. So I just throw my clothes on. If I drink a little bit, you know, at the time I used to drink, you know, I didn't have to drive. I just walk back to the hotel if it's a nice time of the year. But anyway, I'm standing out there and I go into I heard them playing music. I said, oh, it's bumping in here. So this is when I used to live downtown last time I was living there. I threw on some nice clothes put on some nice Vines, and went on over there. And it was about 5 black women together. And 3 out of the 5 were decent looking. 2 of them were just busted about the face. And then there was one of them was fat, the other one looked like she had some health problems. And then there was the 3 other ones. One was average look, she was about a 5, but the other 2, there was these 2 dark-skinned sisters, they were probably about 8s. One was kind of tall, one was about 5'10", looked like she probably was about 140-pound fat ass. And the other one was other one had some tight ass. She had a banging body too, but she had a little bit of cellulite. She's probably about a 6. And them 2 kept looking at me. The 2 that looked pretty good, they kept looking at me because they were in this other bar when I was in there. I think I had bought a drink and then I had walked out of there and went over there because, like I said, you got that bar, then you got the Bonefish. They got a bar in there, but it's mainly a restaurant, kind of like Capitol Grill, kind of like that, kind of upscale. About 3-star restaurant, probably maybe 3.5-star restaurant. You know, they got some $30 and $40 meals in there. And I think they're owned by the Landry Group, the people that own Red Lobster and the Outback. The guy that owns it, he has a show, a $1 billion buyer on CNBC. He owns that. Anyway, they were standing out there and I was like, man, I'm gonna try to holler at one of them. So I went out, you know, I had my little leather on, you know, I was feeling, you know, feeling pimpish. And, you know, I was like, yeah, you know, I was sauntering along. So I was hitting all them, you know, going back and forth because that's how they built it. They got all these bars are right in the same little area. Then they got that grocery store across the street. So there's a street that goes through there. People be driving through there acting crazy too. But anyway, you know, they do valet parking at, you know, but after like 10 o'clock, then the club opens and they start doing valet parking and stuff like that. But anyway, I saw those 2 standing out there. And as I'm going in, I saw, you know, I was checking out one of them. And then, you know, I come back, I looked in, I didn't see no more new women go in. So I went out and I was going to go back to this other bar, Crave. I told y'all about I go there. I've had really good luck, really good results at both of those Craves. One is downtown, the other one is right there. And that one, that's the real nice one. They got a couple in a couple other cities, but it's a real upscale bar. It's probably like a 4-star. If you were going to give it a rating system, it's about a 4-star bar. It's a really nice bar. If you really want to impress a woman, because you can get dinner and you can get an upscale meal and good drinks. And the bar is just pimping. It's real fly, man. It's just like real fly type shit. And when you go in there, you don't see nothing but dimes in there. You don't see nothing but dimes. You be seeing like the Vikings cheerleaders in there. You know, it's just upscale chicks. A lot of niggas don't like to go in there with me because these niggas ain't got no skills. Plus, a lot of these niggas like hood rats. They want to get some old Hobie hound dog, some old broken down Caucasian chick that ain't got no teeth that's fucking everybody. I'm like, man, I don't fuck women like that. And plus, a lot of them niggas, they looking for easy ass because all them niggas married. All them niggas married, trying to creep. I saw that cigarette. I smelled them cigarettes when I walked past. I said, oh, hell no. I don't like no woman that smoke. Talking about weed is a gateway drug? No, nigga. Cigarettes are a gateway drug. Okay? Plus, you know, I have a mental health background. When I see a woman smoking, she got problems. She got problems. If she needs that nicotine delivery system, she's got major problems at home. Something's not right. Something's not right. And like I said, a lot of them women up in Minneapolis and St. Paul are kind of most of them are hood rats anyway. They ain't nothing but cast offs from Milwaukee, Chicago, Racine, and Indianapolis. Okay. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, it is $10 donation Saturday. Go by asktheiceman.com, donate $10. I do fundraising all year long for my nonprofit, my 501c3 charity. So go to asktheiceman.com for details on how you can donate. Basically, go to my website, asktheiceman.com, and scroll down to the donate button, and it'll ask if you want to do recurring donations, or otherwise or you can just donate one time. Yeah, Gary, Indiana. Usually Gary, Indiana folks don't make it over that far. They usually don't make it. A lot of them will go up to Grand Rapids, Michigan. That's like back when I lived in Michigan. That's what Indiana people would do. Indiana people came up to Michigan to raise hell. But anyway, very few black women in the Twin Cities are not ghetto. And the real professional ones that are there because their company transferred them there, you will not see them. You never see these sisters until somebody like Brian McKnight come to town, or somebody like Music Soul Child. You know, D'Angelo will get them women out. D'Angelo will be downtown or he'll be at, First Ave, 3 nights, and they be sold out. Okay, them white girls be down there saying D'Angelo. Okay, but the sisters will beat them to it. My cousin took me to a Kim concert back in 2007. He came, hey man, I got some free tickets to this Kim concert. He said, have you ever heard this dude before? I had heard his song, but he didn't know exactly who this dude was. And I had heard his song on the radio. And so when we went to see him in concert, man, but Kim, if you go see Kim, if you got a lady friend, go, hey man, hey, Kim, when he say, I can't stop loving you, them black women lost their mind, dog. I'm serious. When cats like that come to Minneapolis, you be like, where all these fine ass sisters come from? I'm like, what the hell? And you start talking to them, I be like, where you from? Oh, I'm from New York. I'm like, what you doing here? So I got transferred to this desert. So you can't find no decent black men. All the black men want white girl. So when they start talking that shit, I'm like, I think I'm a step. You fine, but I think I'm a pass. I ain't gonna sit up there and argue with nobody, dog. I ain't finna argue with no black woman about, because that's what these black women up here do. They be like, I bet you just be messing with white girls, huh? They don't, just like, as soon as you start talking that shit, the conversation, it's a wrap. It's a wrap. I ain't got nothing else to say to you, because it ain't got nothing to do. I ain't here for that. I could stay in San Antonio and get white girls. I ain't never had to work to get no white girls, and I ain't gonna start in my mid-50s. I ain't gonna start because there's no need to. There's no need. What am I do that for? But we're not prepared for the situation that we find ourselves in. Black men are not protecting anything. We got too many feminized black men, and we got too many beta male provider type simpish black men who are more concerned about getting ass than they are handling business. Somebody asked me on a live stream a few weeks ago. They say, "Hey, Ice, how come you always said why you always do stuff by yourself as far as like business is concerned?" I said, because I can't find no serious black men. Black men like to clown. As far as business is concerned, the only thing they want to do is get some business cards printed up and then go to the bar and be like, "Oh, baby, I started this business, this was Andy, girl, you know what I'm saying?" That's all black men want to do. Black men just want to front. They don't want to they don't want to roll up them sleeves and do no work, because work means, see, that's how you know you're dealing with males who ain't men. Men want to lead. Men want to lead other men and women. You can't be a man and then be a man at home and then go to work and be sucking the white man's dick at work and be a full-time Sambo coon. You get no respect from me. See, my dad tried to run that. My dad tried to run that type of shit. He want to come home and talk shit and act like he the man, and wasn't nobody listening to his ass. And then when I, would go on summer jobs and I saw how he behaved, buck dancing and cooning at work, you can't respect no male you can't respect no man like that. You going over here kissing this man's ass because he a different race? You think his ice is colder than yours? He's better than you? That's what happens when you put yourself in a position where you have to go to your oppressor for crumbs and butter biscuits. And that's the situation that the last two generations put us in. Everything has been a social failure. Integration has been a social failure for black folks. Affirmative action has been a total failure for black folks. You got black Democrats still running around here talking about affirmative action. And yet the only people who are benefiting from affirmative action are Caucasian women. That's it. And at the same time, they can say they're a minority. Here they are, part of the ruling class. Here they are, protected with white supremacy. And yet they up here calling themselves a minority class of people. White Caucasian females are not discriminated against unless they're attractive and they are with a black man, or they got their little half black kids with them whose hair they don't comb. I've seen black men with these half black kids in Trader Joe's or Whole Foods. Maybe these guys got a little money, and here they come in there with their kids' hair looking stupid. Their hair all looking like an owl been playing in their hair. You are supposed to be a self-respecting black man, and you sitting up here having your kids leave the house looking like that. I did my daughter's hair. I had to do what I had to do. And maybe it just ended up being a little ponytail with barrettes. But she still went out of the house looking decent, looking presentable as a child should. Face washed, not stuff hanging out her nose like you see some of these kids. It was clear that I cared about my child. Sitting up, and I was in Trader Joe's over there in Portland last week, and some old flat behind Caucasian woman was had a little half white little toddler, little boy in the basket, and his hair was all nap on his head, looked like it hadn't been combed or nothing. And I just walked by and looked at him, looked at her. I just shook my head. I said, look at this shit. I only know one Caucasian female who's my cousin's wife, one of my cousin's wives up there in Minneapolis. She has always done her daughter's hair. You thought a black woman done her hair. Okay? Because she said, I asked my black friends how to do her hair. And they came over and showed me. Because one of her best friends is a black woman. Me and her son are pretty cool. Son just graduated from Augsburg College. It's a little liberal arts college down there in downtown Minneapolis. Actually wasn't too far from where I used to live at. It's in the older part of Minneapolis. They only got like 2 or 3 buildings, but they got a basketball team. You know, Devin George used to play for them. You got, the Lakers picked him up. Anyway, these people are not playing with us, man. But I was looking at this PBS show, and it was talking about all these white supremacist groups and what signs to look for. And I was going to give you guys some names because there was let me pull this guy's name up because I'm going to give you his goddamn name. Oh, I'm going to give y'all his name because this guy was a Marine, and he was in Charlotte's. Yeah, right. Let's see here. Let me see. Frontline. White supremacy. Yeah. There's this Greek dude. One guy was a PhD candidate at Northrop, and they got his ass fired. Now, I don't know if they kicked him out of their PhD program, but, this guy's making great money working for Northrop Grumman. And this guy, he's a defense contractor. He's working. He actually had a top secret security clearance. Ain't that dangerous? That's dangerous. The first guy I'm going to talk about, he was at, they showed pictures, and he was at Charlottesville. I think he was in Noonan, Georgia when they were down there. He was hitting people. It seems like it's a lot of Greek dudes. This guy's name is Michael Maselis. His last name is spelled Miselis. When you go to Google or Yahoo or Bing to search, put in Frontline PBS White Supremacy. And I'm there right now. He was at Charlottesville, and he is seen hitting people. Now, his name is Michael Maselis. He lost his job he was an aerospace engineer. He lost his job at Northrop Grumman because they fronted his ass out. He's a doctoral student at University of UCLA. I don't know if he got kicked out of that. That's the first guy. Last name Marcellus. Notice he's a Greek dude. That's why I keep telling y'all, man, watch these guys, man. Watch these Greek dudes. And here's the second one. This guy got kicked. I think he got a bad chicken dinner from the Marines. This guy's name is Vasilius. And this guy was punching people at Unite the Right. He was punching people. There's another guy named Robert Rundo who has been seen at almost every alt-lice or alt-right get-together. This guy gave somebody a concussion, broke their jaw, beat up some Jewish dude. Oh, that's right. He's the one that ended up killing. He's the one that ended up killing that homosexual Jewish kid that went to I think he went to Princeton. He went to one of those schools back east. I'm gonna name all these guys. They said they have put him on leave from the doctoral program over here at UCLA for aerodynamics engineering. That's good that they calling around getting these guys kicked out of these programs and getting their jobs taken away from them. Some of these guys done laid hands on cops and they didn't file, the district attorney didn't file criminal charges. Ain't that something? Let me try to find the other guy. Let me try to find him. Let me find his ass. He's the main one. I want to make sure I make sure I get him. I want to make sure I get this guy. Nah, this is the same article that popped up. Shoot. Because this only one guy that keeps popping up. This guy got a mouthpiece in his mouth. So you know they're going over there, call us Rise Above movement. See, you got all these little cells of white supremacists. They got, the Promise Keepers, all these guys with these different names of these groups. They're terrorist cells. Let me see. And I'm trying to find this other guy. Shoot. Maybe here I'll just put this in because I want to hurry up and move on. Okay, here we go. This guy's a Lance Corporal, which I think, what is it? What is that, an E4? This another Greek dude. This guy's an E. No, he's an E3. He's an E3. The Marine, this guy is active duty Marines, and he's over here punching people in Charlottesville and punching people in. He was also there at in Berkeley, hitting women and doing all kind of stuff. This guy's name is Vasilios Pistolis. Vasilios Pistolis. This guy's like 19 or 20. The Navy, NCIS opened an investigation, and they end up kicking his ass out. I think he got a bad chicken dinner. He got a bad chicken dinner. And this is one of those international white supremacist group. It's called Atom, ATOM Waffen. It's one word. Atom Waffen. ATOM WAFFEN. That is an international white supremacist. I would tell you their patches. They wear jackets with patches on them and stuff. They have very distinguishing patches and stuff on their jackets. Sometimes they wear that hat that has the Punisher on it. They kicked his ass out. They didn't say whether they gave him a dishonorable discharge, but they just said he's after a court martial, he is no longer in the Marines. So there you have a white supremacist whose actions have affected his pocketbook. And that's the way it ought to be. That's the way it ought to be. Exactly. Hiring their dumb husbands. Exactly. 80% of the people out here get their job because of their skin color. And that's why I keep telling brothers, start your own businesses, man. Let me put this thing back up. When I start rocking this towel starts falling down, gets stuck behind my back. You know, when you sit in these seats, you know, you start sweating. You start sweating, and that's why I keep a towel on here. I worked out today, and you know, I turned the fan off because I was going to adjust this fan up here. I got a ceiling fan right above my head. Usually when I'm sitting right here, I don't really like having air blowing on me like that, because it haven't been that hot the last couple of days. It was hot today. It's probably about late. It's probably high 80s. Might even creeped into the 90s. I'm not sure. I got up 4 o'clock. I got up at 4 o'clock this morning to go work out. I didn't leave the house till about 6, but I got up and shaved, cleaned up around here a little bit, and I wanted to get out of here before it got too late. And I got in the gym. I got in the athletic club, man. I went in and I got it in today, because there wasn't hardly nobody in there but old people. So I was like, I hurry up, got it in, dog. Shoot, some of the cats that I know that work out there, they was coming in when I was leaving, and that's rare. I usually like to get in there real early, or I like to get in there later, like about 12 or 1 o'clock after all them morning idiots leave, because you get all them same stupid ass Caucasian dudes that all they do is work on one part of their body for 5 hours. You want to use the squat rack, they all over there. And I'm just like, damn, how can you, there ain't that much legs you're going to be doing it. You shouldn't be doing that many reps doing the same shit. And these idiots, man, they just be tying up like whole sections of the athletic club. You can't even finish your workout. I'm just like, man, I got to start coming in here later or earlier. So that's what I do. But occupiers have a mentality, we're just going around using people. And as you can tell, it's starting to get a lot of stink around the world of these Caucasian occupiers going around the world, stealing people's land, lying about there being terrorism and terrorists, or allowing certain factions of terrorists to operate so we can have an excuse to go over there. Because like I said, the CIA works both sides of the fence. They don't work for your interests or my interests. They work for the interests of corporate America. And they'll go and be selling arms to both sides, to multiple terrorism cells. How else are they getting the guns? How else are they getting RPG? They're either getting them from 3 places. They're either getting them from China, they're getting them, or they're getting them from Russia, or they're getting them from us. Which, you know, that dude that supposedly shot 500 people in Las Vegas, that's what he was. He was a gun runner. And he was under CIA surveillance, which is why they knew he was in Vegas. Oh, that shit. Oh, it's coming out. Stuff is coming out. They knew he was in Vegas. They knew he was they knew what room he was in. Now, Las Vegas PD might not have known, but the feds knew. Don't let that situation fool you, dog. That's one thing those of you who listened to that video I did year and whatever months it was ago when that happened, when I was in San Antonio still, you heard it right here on the Iceman Show podcast that guy was a weapons dealer. How else did he get all them weapons? He had a small arsenal in his room. Exactly, Mr. Clifton. Exactly. People getting tired of them. That's why we're in Germany. That's why we're in Korea. That's why we're in Japan. Notice they're all countries that we either occupied under the premise of fighting communism. We ain't got no bases in China. We ain't got no bases in Russia. We're only in countries we defeated or occupied. And that's why they're over on the continent of Africa, because of the smartphone revolution, because of the smartphone demands, they need certain types of minerals for those motherboards inside these phones. Okay? They need this ain't like them old, cell phones they made 10 years ago. Like them Nokias. That thing was like a Atari. If any of y'all have ever saved any of your old phones, like remember the first Blackberries that came out? I got the first Blackberry in there somewhere. And I got that one that used to have all them. I used to have all them old songs. Remember, y'all used to be like, when I did my show and I was in Atlanta, and y'all used to hear my phone going off. That was a Blackberry. I probably would have kept using that phone if I would have been able to. If some of the functions on the phone start going off, start going out. And I was like, oh, it's time to get another phone. That's when I got that Samsung and that iPhone. I mainly use my iPhone. I don't really use my Samsung that much because it's a piece of shit phone. But that motherboard requires specific minerals that you can only get in certain countries on the African continent. So now they're over there, you know, under the guise of terrorism. Remember when that young brother got killed, that young army brother got killed? What do you think they were over there doing? They already sending special forces and Green Beret guys over there. You remember Obama spent a few years over there in Africa. And for some reason, they don't talk a lot about it, okay? And he used an alias. Know what it was? Barry Soweto. Okay? Then you start putting things together and you realize how this guy became president. Remember, they play chess, not checkers. They thinking 30 years down the road. Okay? You study some of these presidents' backgrounds. It will amaze you. But the problem is a lot of y'all can't handle the truth. You can't handle it. You know, George H.W. Bush might be a frail old man right now, but back in the day, back in them late 40s, he was doing some things. He was getting it in. Yeah, exactly, Mr. Kobir. Exactly. Yeah, they are. Obama's related to what was the Bush and Bush's vice president, that old dude that needed a damn near a heart transplant. The one that shot somebody in the face. These guys be doing some dirty shit. Clinton became, if you look at that movie American Made with Tom Cruise, with him as a pilot for the CIA, you need to see that movie. If you watch that show, John Singleton is the executive producer, called Snowfall. It all comes together. Nothing happens by accident, people. Look at that movie American Made and look at that show Snowfall on FX. All that stuff comes together. All of it. Because you have to ask yourself, why were they moving weapons down there? And why were they moving drug profits out of South Central and other black areas through CIA accounts going through Panama? That's what Panamanian banks, they was using a lot of Panamanian banks to hide that money. Because Panama's you know, you see we got bases there. You got Howard City Air Force Base. And then there's an Army base not too far from there. I think the Navy has always been there. I think further down toward the canal, though. Yeah, there's a Navy base down there at the canal. Because that's where John McCain was born. Because they were trying to say John McCain wasn't an American citizen. I'm like, you stupid motherfucker. Shut up. You're some idiot walking around saying that dumb shit on TV. I was like, man, shut up. Well, he was born at the Panama Canal. That ain't American soil. I'm like, you dumbass. That shows how much you know. Thought you people were smart. But you watch that movie, American Made, and you'll see how Clinton became president. Okay? These people ain't playing. You the only one playing. The problem with, see, I don't get surprised when I see them shooting us. I don't get surprised. I don't get surprised. You know why I don't get surprised? Because if you know who you're dealing with, you don't get surprised. You just get ready or stay ready. And they catching a lot of us slipping because a lot of black folks, you still got black women letting their kids roam up and down the street by themselves. 8, 9, 10-year-old kids that ain't been taught anything. At least when I was 7, 8, 9 years old, my mom said, look, if somebody want to give you a ride, you don't never get in no car with nobody. I don't care if it's a woman. You don't get in the car with them. If they keep insisting that you get in the car with them, you run. And a couple of times I had to run. And they wasn't going to catch my ass. And these were black men up to no good. You understand where I'm going with this? These women ain't teaching these boys nothing. That's why it's so easy to snatch black little girls and boys and even teenagers. It's so easy to snatch kids because black women ain't paying attention. You too busy back there messing around with your boyfriend in your bedroom. Your 15-year-old daughter's going in and out the house. My mama don't care. I'm just like, are you serious? And then when people snatch their kids and put them on the, whatever the new backpage.com is, now they sitting up here tripping. Black women, they don't get it. These black women ain't gonna never get on point unless black men get on point. They ain't gonna never do it. Women are followers. They're not leaders. Just because they talk shit don't make them a leader. See, a lot of guys get impressed with women talking shit and talking out of their ass with their egos, and you impressed with that shit. That shit scares you. See, that's your generation, you millennials. See, that shit talking like, I didn't grow up in that era where women was, popping off like that. In my generation, she ended up on the ground running her mouth. And what tripped me out, I seen brothers sit up here and let white girls talk greasy to them. Or you get these white girls that think they real cool with black folks, and they start saying a lot of borderline bullshit. And see, I've been in little groups where you get some of them up there in Minneapolis, St. Paul that try to do that kind of shit. Maybe you messing with a Becky and maybe a couple of her friends will show up at the bar and y'all throwing darts and drinking beer. And then one of them try to act like she know niggas. Oh, niggas know me. They'll start talking that gray girl shit. And I'll be like, when they look at me, and they'll go, oh, he ain't about that life. Because I'll give them that look like I'll knock your ass out saying dumbass shit to me. What you mad about? I'm like, bitch, who you think? You think you black? You ain't black. Just because you don't have some black dick. Just because you don't have some soul pole, that don't make you black. Just because you got some nappy-headed half black kids at home don't make you black or expert on black folks. Where I come from, you get dealt with talking greasy. But that's what happens when you're around occupiers and oppressors. See, a lot of black men like to forget that these people used to own your ancestors. And you are dealing with their offspring. Same game, different rules. But the game is the same. You're going to be in a subservient position and they're going to be over you. Socially and economically. I guarantee if you a black man my age and maybe you're in a job that maybe you should be well beyond by the time you got to this age, because I'm in my mid-50s. And you got some brothers, they ain't take care of their life. And you at the job and you probably got a boss who's some, young 30-some-year-old Becky telling you what to do. I remember I had a cousin up there in Minnesota was like, hey, man, I was working for Quest Technology. Quest used to be 20th Century Link bought them out. Quest, they used to be a telephone company in Minneapolis area. Quest Telecom. But they got bought out by 20th Century Link. They were getting away from that analog phones, where you plug your phone in the wall. That's an analog system. And then they went to that internet voice over IP system, which is now extinct. It's internet, fiber optic internet, digital fiber optic, because there'll be fiber optic all the way to the apartment complex or to the relay station in your neighborhood if you live in a house. But they own all the corporations where we all work. They own all the bars and the strip clubs, and everywhere you go, you spending money, and that's how they get 97% of your money. See, back when I was a young man, when I was in my early 20s, all the strip clubs were owned by the Jews. All the Jews own most of the bars. They own most of the bars. I don't know what this. Oh my God. It's so stupid people on Facebook sending, how stupid people on Facebook be sending, coon crap on there. Somebody break dancing, some old man break dancing. This stupid nigga shit. I hate when people tag me on that type of shit. Send me that garbage. Anyway, they own all the, and so all the strip clubs, all the bars, all the, you know, very few I mean, some of the bars and some of the clubs were owned by black people, but for the most part, especially the ones going out to like Hawthorne, Gardena, they were owned by Jews. Like that strip club I used to go to called the First King, that's across the street from the Barbary Coast. That was owned by a Jewish lady, an older Jewish woman. But she had a black couple that managed it. That club been open since my dad was that age. Because my uncle and them used to go over there. Back then, Hawthorne and Gardena was like damn near like little Las Vegas. They had casinos over there. They used to have all the, over by Northrop Grumman, they used to have all them strip clubs with little nasty white girls stripping in there. They used to have all nude places. I got in some of them places at 18 and 19. They didn't even check my ID. That's how loose it was back then. But see, they cleaned Hawthorne and Gardena up. They closed a lot of them strip clubs. They closed a lot of them drive-in. They sold the land of a lot of them drive-ins that were open when we were growing up. They closed all that shit. Black folks don't own anything. We own very little stuff. It seems like every black person that I know of that owns a bar or sometime a club, sooner or later they fuck it up. Either they fuck it up themselves or they let somebody that work for them fuck it up. That's how I usually go. Maybe 5 years, 6 years tops. After that, they're like, hey, man, hey, what happened to the name of the game? Oh, man, the name of the game closed down. I'm like, what? So every good thing come to an end. Because black men don't want to own nothing. Black men don't want to do nothing but get their check and then shuck and jive, shoot a little dice, you know, chase after some white girls, and that's it. And sit at the barbecue holding their dick, talking shit, lying. That's why a lot of times I don't even go to family events because I don't want to, you know, I definitely don't want to see my brother there. He ain't gonna show up anyway because he embarrassed now because I put his business out there. I put his dirty Mac ass business out there because he crossed the line because he's a habitual line stepper. But I wanted to read something to you. Just to give you an idea what kind of white supremacy you dealing with out here. I bought this book when I was in San Antonio. I bought this from Barnes & Noble in San Antonio. Usually when I go to Barnes & Nobles and start looking at books, I always end up buying one. And I got this book. It's called, you probably can't see it because it's, you know, especially YouTube people, it's in reverse. I hate it does that. Facebook, it's exactly how it is. Exactly, Mr. Thomas. We got to fix ourselves. This book right here is called OJ is Innocent and I Can Prove It by William Deere. It's a retired Miami-Dade police officer, detective sergeant. I believe he retired as a sergeant. And then no, he's a Miami-Dade cop. He made detective. Then he took a job with the Department of Public Safety for Florida. So he's a state trooper. He did that for 30 years. So this is a dying wool, straight up cop, straight up lawman. Now he's a private investigator. He wrote this book. This is about a 300. This is about a, man, it's a 500-page book. Okay. OJ is Innocent and I Can Prove It. I got this book for $19. I was like, I know I'm gonna have to. This is, you know, my bachelor's degree is in criminal justice, so this type of stuff is up my alley. And boy, I ain't read but about 26 pages. I ain't read but 26 pages of this book, and it already had me going back reading pages already, because this guy, he's just getting started in these first 50 pages, and I swear to God, I can't put this book down. But let me read this to you guys real quick. Y'all peep this. This show you what kind of evil y'all dealing with. Let me read y'all something real quick. This shit is gonna blow your mind. I think I'm gonna start on this page and then let me just read down. Check this out. My preliminary research also revealed that although Ronald Goldman, which was the young man that was unfortunately murdered with Nicole Brown Simpson, lived alone at the time of the murders. Now, let me stop right there. He lived in an apartment in Brentwood. There's an area of Brentwood, LA that is, I ain't gonna say it's hood, because it's not really hood, because it is Brentwood. But it's like lower middle class Brentwood. There are little sections of like Santa Monica, Brentwood, Beverly Hills. There are areas where it's kind of, anybody can live there if they wanted to. But a lot of those apartments are sky high. So, a lot of black folks ain't gonna move to those areas. And plus, them apartments are old as hell. Now, let me stop right there. Ronald Goldman lived in a studio apartment. A studio apartment in that area back then was probably $1,500 a month, $2,000 a month. He did a couple Calvin Klein ads. He was a good looking guy. He was in the martial arts, all that shit. So, he did a couple of print ads for Giorgio Armani. He was working at, let me read, because I want y'all to research this restaurant. Okay. It's called Mezzaluna. Oh, it's called Mezzaluna Trattatoria. Basically what that means is middle something. Probably means some type of Italian word for restaurant. I don't know what it means. If some of y'all speak Italian, y'all look it up. He worked at Mezzaluna as a waiter. And the night that they were killed, unfortunately murdered, Nicole Brown Simpson was dining at Mezzaluna with her mom, a couple of her sisters, the kid, her and OJ's kids, and some other people. There was a pretty big group. And Nicole paid for it with her black card. And Nicole's mother left her sunglasses. And Ron Goldman, I think he may have had some dealings with Nicole Brown Simpson before that. But he went home, took a shower, put on clean clothes to go over there and put on cologne, and went over there to give her the sunglasses. And unfortunately, that's when he got murdered. This is a sad situation. Totally sad. But OJ didn't do it. I knew he didn't do it. I was thinking for a while, I know he didn't do it, but I feel like he paid somebody to do it. But then after you read books like, I haven't read this book yet. I'm only 26 pages in. And I'm already blown away by some of the evidence. I know I'm taking a minute here, but I got to set up context, because a lot of y'all young folks, y'all were babies or you weren't even born then. So you don't know your O.J. Simpson stuff. You don't know nothing about this stuff. But I suggest you do some research on it. But let me give you a little bit of game. Let me finish reading this. Ron Goldman lived alone at the time of the murders. He hadn't always lived alone. According to one report, which had neither been confirmed nor denied by the LAPD, listen to this, his last roommate, who had been a waiter at the Dragonfly in Los Angeles, this is another high boutique restaurant that's probably across the Brentwood community line back in, the center, we call Center City, which is usually that area going all the way up to Beverly Hills and Brentwood. That's one of them little chicy joints that you might see, Gwyneth Paltrow in. So this is another one of those Brentwood high-end LA area restaurants called the Dragonfly in Los Angeles. Let me read this again because I'm just trying to give you context, so I'm going to have to read it again. According to one report, which had neither been confirmed nor denied by the LAPD, his last roommate, who had been a waiter at the Dragonfly in Los Angeles, had his throat cut in what was being called a drug-related death. Y'all hear that? Notice that never came up in the trial. You see how dirty the media is? You can make anybody look guilty. Hell, they can make former President Jimmy Carter look like he killed somebody and have him downtown at a lineup. That's how dirty these people are. You mean to tell me he had a roommate that got killed and notice his neck was cut? He was Nicole and Ron Brown were given signature Sicario murder treatment. They were given what's called the Colombian necktie. That's when you cut from this side over here under this ear all the way to this side, and you almost cut their heads off. Also, and I know this is going to get covered in this book, but I already know about this. Did you know that there were 2 sets of footprints in that blood and that the LAPD discounted that? The Van Adder and the other dirty ass cop, not Mark Furman. Not Mark Furman, because it was 2 old dudes. It was Van Adder and that other dude, because these guys are Vietnam veterans, both Marines. And now Van Adder is dead. The other guy's still living, and they interviewed him. William Deere did, because William Deere did a 3 or 4 part special on this. After I looked at it, I was kind of mad because I forgot I bought that book. I said, damn, I shouldn't even have looked at that, because most of the stuff he's going to cover in this book, obviously it's going to be more detailed in a book, but they had like 3 or 4 different hour-long specials about because they were talking to witnesses, the ones that would talk to them. Because some of them lying ass white folks didn't want to talk to them. This one white woman's talking about, I knew it was a guy driving down the street in a Bronco, and I knew it was OJ. He was just flying past. You could tell that woman was lying. You could tell that woman was telling a bold-faced lie. OJ didn't kill that woman. They don't believe that Ron Goldman was a target. But then again, they couldn't count it out because his roommate was killed the same way. And Ron Goldman was a very knowledgeable martial artist. He was no joke. People that sparred with him said he could handle himself. This wasn't one of these little weak, little beta male, little Caucasian dudes that you see out here. He wasn't no little dude. So for him to fight the way he did, there had to be more than one guy. Do you really think, how the hell can O.J. Simpson kill both of them people, not get any blood on his clothes? The only blood he had was on the so-called ski mask and the hat, the beanie they said he had on. There was little spritzes of blood in the Bronco, which we know were consistent with somebody spraying it in there because it had that additive in it, blood preservative. So you know it had been to the lab. They didn't have to put Mark Fuhrman on the stand. They had already lost. Talking about reasonable doubt. That whole case was reasonable doubt. You got two different footprints. See, this is what I keep telling y'all. Don't ever put yourself in a position where you got to depend on these white supremacists for your justice. I did that one time and I learned my lesson. Thank God I got let off easy. But everybody don't know how, they ain't got the money to get themselves out of that kind of mess. When you out here getting it in, and you know which way I mean that, riding dirty, doing the things that sometimes we brothers do and sisters do, we end up in the back of a police car, or we end up getting a court summons. Don't let no white girl be attached to it. You really gonna get dealt with. Oh, you over there whooping white girls' heads? Man, I see, dude, I've gotten, one time I got a ticket and I went over there to pay that ticket. And I'm standing in line, and the court, the municipal court, or take that back, the district court is right there. You got, because I don't even think they got some municipal courts, but on that level is nothing but district court. Man, I went in there and poked my head in on some of them proceedings. You know how many brothers were sitting in there with domestic violence cases on them from some old white girl? Couple of them, jacked some sisters up. And I was just like, damn, they getting these brothers like that up here. Oh, it's easy to get caught up. Because I'm going to tell you right now, don't let your ass be out there in Maple Grove or St. Michael, where Philando Castile was killed at, in some of them little suburbs. I used to mess with this Becky out there, not too far from where Philando Castile got killed at. She had a condo out there, real nice condo. But she lived in a suburb that was right next to that suburb, St. Michael's. But that's Ramsey County. That's like southeast Ramsey County. So ain't no brothers out there. They just killed some white dude up there in St. Paul last week. Exactly. Them white liberals all over the country, even out there in California. They're a bunch of devils. Let me tell you something about Nancy Pelosi. Nancy Pelosi is another one of them. She like Hillary Clinton. She is dirty. You have to ask yourself, why are they passing domestic violence bills? Ain't because they're trying to protect women, because domestic violence is way down. Domestic violence ain't no problem in this country. And crime in the Black community since the kind of the end of the crack era in the 90s, crime has gone down. Crime has gone down. Maybe because of the crime bill, 1996 omnibus crime bill. It might have been because of that. I don't know. Maybe I should read some articles, some scholarly articles on Google Scholar, see what some of these criminal justice professors are talking about. Okay. Nancy Pelosi ain't looking out for Black folks. You know the Republicans ain't looking out for you, but them Democrats, they ain't looking out for you either. All they're going to do is give you some welfare. All they're going to do, all the same old Sambo Negro leaders or hang around here, you know, from the Urban League, give us some money. We'll help these dumb niggas out. And then they got their hand out in the NAACP begging for some money. That's all them Negroes do. And they're going to increase SNAP benefits. Oh, they're going to increase welfare benefits. All the while, you're never getting empowered. You're never getting off the plantation. Because if you're not physically on the plantation, living in Section 8 housing, they got you, the plantations in your mind. You a Sambo. I got too many Sambos in my family. See them, you know, as soon as some white folks come around, they yes sir, and I don't say nothing to them niggas no more, man. I got family, and I got a lot of coons on both sides of my family, mostly on my mother's side. A lot of coons. Just buck dancing and then sitting around behind people, just like slaves used to do, sitting around talking about somebody behind their back. They always sitting around talking about me. Iceman over there writing them books. Don't nobody want to read them books. Talking about, man, you got a podcast? Oh, man, I had one cousin say, ain't nobody listening to you. Then he saw, and then he checked out this was back when I had my Blog Talk radio show. Then he came on there and was like, oh, cuz, you doing it big. I'm like, shut up, nigga. I don't need your help now. I don't need your support. I'm going to do what I'm going to do without your support. I don't need your damn support. I've been doing my own thing for years. I've always had to do my own thing. Ain't never had no family support. I don't call around asking for permission to do stuff. I just do it. Then they find out about it. And when they run their mouth, when they see that I'm for real, like I had a couple cousins, you know, they was like, man, you know, you ain't got no book. And then they looked on there and saw my book on Amazon. They was like, I'm going to go get your book. You know, your book's all right, man. It's pretty decent, man. I didn't expect you to be that good. I'm like, fuck you, dude. So if you wonder why I always do stuff by myself, because usually when people start nonprofits, they usually do it with, you know, a few people. All my businesses I've incorporated by myself. My nonprofit, I didn't even hire a lawyer for this one. I've actually had two nonprofits. The first one, I was getting a lot of discrimination because I had the word veteran in the name of the company. So I couldn't hardly get donations. So then I shut that down. And the one that I have right now, I set that up my last month of school in 2013 when I graduated from University of Texas. I set that up, but I didn't even use an attorney. The first time I used an attorney because I thought that's how you set up a nonprofit. But then, you know, when I shut that one down, I said, well, I wanted to have one, and I'm this time I'm not going to put veterans as part of the name. And so when I set that up like that, you know, I haven't had those problems because it doesn't have veterans in it. You'd be surprised how many corporations and individuals are different, especially Caucasian people. They'll donate it as individuals, but as corporations, they'll be like, oh, we don't donate to veterans organizations. We already give, you know, $2 million a year to Wounded Warrior Fund. Just full of shit. But they get on TV trying to act like they love veterans. They don't love no veterans. Don't get me started about Wounded Warrior Project. Don't get me started about them. See, a lot of these organizations, they ain't nothing but little hookup places to, you know, these vets to, you know, or these a lot of them are officers too. A lot of them, you know, they got all their little white girlfriends and wives and family working there. Ain't got hardly no blacks in there, and definitely ain't no blacks on their boards. You got to watch these companies, man. They'll talk that diversity shit, and their idea of diversity is 20 white guys on the executive board and one Indian dude. That's their idea of diversity. Or they'll have some white female on there that looks like, you know, Tom Landry. They'll have a Caucasian female on there that looks like Jerry Jones, the owner of the Cowboys. She ain't gonna be no attractive Caucasian female. And that's their idea of diversity. They'll do these commercials where they got black folks, you know, running through the daffodils and dancing and all this stuff. You be like, oh, they're a diverse company. No, that's an ad agency making those commercials. They have nothing to do with it, except for the advertising department, marketing. All white folks at the company. But they'll have you believing that they about diversity. And that's why I be telling black folks, stop falling for the okie doke. Black folks love to fall for the okie doke. Black folks love to be hoodwinked. I remember one time I did a lecture video on the CIA or something. I forgot what I did. It might have been that when blacks, I did a video a long time ago called When Blacks Rule Europe. I think I did that. That was like, I probably did that video in like early 2010, like January, February 2010. That must have been on my Iceman NBA channel. That was my first channel. That one got shut down because I was bringing that work. I was giving them that business. See, back then I had more black women and more Caucasian people listening to me back then. When I looked at my demographics, it was like maybe 30% Caucasian, 40% black women, and the rest were black men. And then it just shifted from, as soon as I start talking about single moms and the single mom epidemic and all that, how being a single mom ain't a good thing. Oh, them black women, they got the fuck out of Dodge. Oh man, 72,000 people last year overdosed on opioids. That's a lot of people. Yeah, we got 323 million people in this country, but 72,000 people and we talk 99% of them are Caucasians. And we ain't talking about just one of these dirty ass, nasty ass, funky, crotch smelling Neanderthals that you see dragging their knuckles all up around Portland and Seattle up here to the north of me. It ain't just those people who are getting canceling their own contracts. These are upper class Caucasians, upper class, upper middle class, all the way down to Pope Caucasians. You guys, you have to understand something. Listen to me, man. Where you have to ask yourself, where are these pharmaceutical companies getting the opioids? I'll wait. Matter of fact, I'm gonna take a break. I'm gonna leave you with that. I'm gonna leave you with that. Right, brown sausage. It's a health crisis if white folks are ODing, but with black folks, our character is just low and we're just criminal minded. That's why we get high. Totally ignoring white supremacy and its benefits to them and horror for you. But I'm gonna let you think about that for a minute. How does the American pharmaceuticals, where are they getting their opioids? I know. Let's see if you know. Now, Facebook Live, y'all can post your answers in the chat room area. YouTube, hey, go ahead and answer that question and list your answers on here. And I'm gonna take about a couple-minute break, and then I'm gonna come on back and we're gonna chop it up some more right here on the Iceman Show. Be right back. No, I said where. I should. I guess I'm stating geography. Like, where are they getting the opioids from, or where are they getting the base for it? Because the actual plant has to be processed, just like the coca plant has to be processed into cocaine, powdered cocaine. I've been talking about this, people, for 8 years. Look, ain't none of this an accident. None of it. Everything that happens in the so-called news cycle happens for a reason. There's no accident. Okay? There's no accidents in white supremacy. You might think it's an accident because somebody on CNBC lied and told you it was an accident, but I can tell you it's not. Oh, they wouldn't go to those kind of lengths to frame O.J. Simpson. You have no idea who you dealing with. They'll go to those lengths to frame your daddy or your mama. Like I said, they'll be, you look at Jimmy Carter. Jimmy Carter was president when I was a kid. Look at that old little frail old man. Nah, he a tough old man though. You know, he's 90 years and he don't survive brain cancer and all kind of stuff. Because you know they got excellent doctors at that level. But Jimmy Carter, a little 90-year-old man, he be chilling. He don't be trying to floss like all the rest of them, trying to live high on the hog. He got some money, got a few million in the bank from them books he done wrote over the years. But he a down-to-earth dude. But I've seen these people frame people like him. It'll be some old man like that on ID channel. Them talking, yeah, Grandpa Jeb killed so-and-so. Be like, what the heck? And even the detective be like, man, I don't think this dude did this. O.J. Simpson was 48 years old. He had major arthritis from playing in Buffalo, New York, for what, 6 years? He could barely pick his kids up. And he gonna sit up there and knife up 2 grown people? Nicole wasn't no little woman. And then the young man, Ron Goldman, for him to slice and dice him up like that? OJ didn't have any defensive room. Talk about, well, he had a cut on his finger. And everybody saw that cut on his finger, that little tiny cut on his finger. You mean to tell me you just killed 2 people, 2 grown-ass adults, and all you get is a little cut on your finger? Man, get the fuck out of here. But you had niggas sitting up here believing that shit. I think he did it. Shut up, nigga. Goddamn coon. The power of media is powerful. It's seducing. And if you ain't got no critical thinking skills, meaning you ain't got that third eye open, you gonna fall for the okie doke every time. It didn't make any sense. Physically, he could not have pulled that off and then hopped over a 6-foot fence. OJ's old ass. I'm like, y'all been watching. I'm like, these Caucasian people been watching too many Hertz commercials. That's when OJ was in his 30s, when he was doing that shit, or late 20s, early 30s. You might have saw him running through airports on them commercials, but he damn sure it didn't do that night. Not as an old man. Clearly, he didn't do that. You got people like reckless ass Rachel Hunter or whatever that chick's name on Sirius 126. She on that time out, well, I know OJ did it. Shut up. Like I said, a lot of Negroes like to try to get butter biscuits and get that pat on the head from white mommy and white zaddy. The pharmaceutical companies get their opioids from the poppy plants that are grown in, I don't know if they're in Armenia, because Armenia real quiet. You don't hear nothing about Armenia. But Turkey is there's a reason why we are so close with Turkey. And we got bases over there. We got Air Force bases over there, because we got an Air Force base called Incirlik. And a couple of guys I knew were stationed there. This talking about how those Turkish girls wouldn't have sex with them. Not if they were in Turkey. Now, when they were now the ones that are in Berlin, that's in Germany, oh yeah, they ain't virgins. They don't care. Once they get to Germany and Switzerland and all them areas, they don't care. But if they're over there in, Turkey is a Muslim country. That's the old Ottoman Empire. And one brother I knew that was stationed over there in Incirlik, he was like, man, them girls would be like, they were like, we can only have anal sex. We can't have vaginal sex. And I was just like, what? He said, yeah, you had to hit the booty. I was like, wow, that's crazy. Like I said, if they end up not being a virgin over there in their country, lights out. If that husband say, that first cousin or whoever they make them marry, if they say, hey, she's already been spoiled, oh, they gonna stone her ass the next day. See, they can come over here and screw these white boys and act like white girls over here. They can pull that over here and be a lesbian over here. They better not pull that shit over there in Syria. Now, unless they want to get stoned. But we get our opioids from Turkey. That's why we always having these fake geopolitical sparring matches going on between Erdogan or whatever his name is, the Turkish president, and America. There's a reason why we're buddy-buddy with Turkey. Northern Iran, that's where we get our opioids from there. Again, I don't know if we get any from Armenia. Turkey, from what I've been told, is number one. The number one supplier is I think Morocco or Afghanistan. So there's areas in that region, and that's why we're in Afghanistan. We ain't in Afghanistan because of 9/11. We in Afghanistan because of the Taliban start burning them poppy fields. Right. She was blonde and decent looking. She was good looking. I give her that. I don't know, if she had no booty or nothing. I would venture to say she probably didn't. If OJ was with her. OJ used to go Google over them white girls. I got some guys in my family that be going Google over them white girls. But Turkey is one of our main suppliers of opioids. And that's why, when I saw that they were, sitting up here trying to have these issues with, Turkey, I'm just like, that's our main supplier. Oh, that coup. You noticed that coup attempt got shut down. That went down a few years ago. Remember that? Oh, it got handled, didn't it? Okay. It got handled real quick. You noticed that. I wouldn't be surprised if Navy SEALs and Delta wasn't over there. See, the CIA, the real CIA, I'm talking about the George H.W. Bush CIA, those are the ones that be around here manipulating these countries' currencies, overthrowing leaders. Like they wanted to get Mugabe out of there in Zimbabwe. They want to turn it back into Rhodesia. Okay. Just like them German occupiers down there in Namibia. Or the clerk in them Dutch and them British that stole South Africa. Black folks getting tired, man. Black folks all over the world getting tired of these occupiers. And they know they occupiers. That's all they are, is occupiers. And then they go around the world trying to occupy somebody's damn country, manipulating their country and lying. And we so stupid, we just believe everything they say. Anytime they're in any country, they're over there for American corporate interests. They're not over there to help anybody. They're not over there to help that country. They're over there to set things up so De Beers and AT&T and Apple and Northrop Grumman can go over there and steal. That's what it's about. That's why they keep pumping so much money into defense. 60% of the federal budget goes to defense. And they just signed another bill into law about 2 or 3 weeks ago to give them even more billions. Because we ain't just fighting wars for us. We fighting wars for all of Europe. All the European countries, we are all in cahoots. All of them are in cahoots with each other. And our job is to police the world and create nemesis, create boogeymen and women all over the world. And then they send poor whites, blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans and Asians over there to get their asses shot off. And when they come back over here, they can't even get 5 cents out the VA. Y'all see how this shit works? While George Bush and none of his daughters serve in the military, they're benefiting more than we are off of our blood, sweat, and tears. You have to put yourself in a position where you're not getting your ass chewed every day. Because let me tell you something. The more they chew your ass, the less ass you're going to have in a few years. You ain't going to have nothing to sit on. Because these people, these companies, they don't just want your 8 hours or your 10 hours. They want to suck the blood out of your body. They want to suck all your nutrients out your body. These people are sociopaths. They are sociopaths. These corporate people that run these big corporations, they are sociopaths. They hate us. They want to fix it so Americans are working 50,000 jobs. That's one thing I hate about dating. I hate meeting somebody talking about they got 2 jobs. I'm like, I don't see how we're going to see each other if you working 2 jobs. I'm not going to sit around and wait on you. That's your fault if you didn't go to school or you didn't go get certified to do something that paid more than what you getting paid. Well, I can't help it if I got 2 part-time jobs. I'm like, I ain't sitting around waiting on you. I remember one time, the last time I was living in Minneapolis, so broken down, halfway decent looking white chick had hollered at me when I was out. She happened to have had the day off that day. And, you know, I gave her one of my cards. I wasn't even, you know, I ain't give a fuck. No big deal to me. And she called me. So we, you know, we talked one time, and then after that, we start texting. And she used to be like, she was always like, well, let's meet for lunch. Let's meet for lunch. Let's meet for lunch. And I was like, why are you always talking about meeting for lunch? Well, that's because I got to go. I usually work in afternoon to night because I'm a waitress at one of my jobs. And I'm like, you finna sit around for your broke ass. I said, I don't like going out for lunch when I don't know you. I told her straight up, I said, you ain't getting no free free lunch out of me. I straight up said that to her. I said, what you just texting, calling me to try to get some free food before you go to work or something? I said, what is this shit? She said, oh, I'm just never off at night. I don't get off till like 10, 11 o'clock at night. And I'm like, when she told me she lived in New Hope, I knew she didn't have no money. I said, you a 40-year-old woman and you sitting up here barely scraping by? I said, yeah. Or she'll call me and be like, well, we should get together today. And I'm like, yeah, okay, cool, whatever. Oh, I got my grandbaby. I'm like, you think I'm gonna sit up here and run errands with you with a baby? I'm like, lady, you think you talking to Willie Lump Lump. I'm not Willie Lump Lump, lady. I said, I ain't finna go nowhere with you with no baby. I deleted her number. I was like, delete. I was like, I ain't waiting around for you. Oh, well, I'm off like 3 Saturdays from. I'm like, look, you ain't the only woman I'm seeing. Okay, you ain't the only woman I'm talking to. I'm just gonna let you know that straight up. You ain't the only woman I'm seeing. Real talk. Oh, it's like that. Yeah, it's like that. You do have your daughter when you were 16. You're a little too young to be having grandkids. Like, man, I'm like, you broken down. Like, get out of my face, man. How many men you think gonna put up with that? Not many. Not unless they're a straight up simp. You know, simps love them kind of women. I'll wait for you, darling. I'm going to sit right here on this park bench and read all of Deuteronomy. Nah, I ain't the one. I don't wait on nobody. You ain't where I am at a certain time. I'm doing something else for somebody else. Well, I'm trying to find somebody to be understanding. Lady, ain't nobody trying to understand no 40-year-old woman. Ain't nobody trying to understand no broke ass single mom. That you ain't got it like that. I'm sorry. You ain't got it like that. You have nothing to offer but old pussy. I won't even get up. I won't even roll over in the bed for some old pussy. That's why I say black men got to stop being the garbage man. Stop letting these broads think they can just, you know, they men get done with them. Then here you picking up the slack. Yeah, I take you, baby. There's so many ugly Caucasian women up here. And then some of them have the nerve to go out the house with a belly and then got on Daisy Dukes. I guess, have Daisy Dukes come back or something? Because I'm starting to see women walk around with their ass hanging out again. Everybody can't wear Daisy Dukes, man. Or should I say everybody shouldn't be wearing them? You know, some of these little young chicks, I don't have a problem. But I've seen some dopey looking bitches wearing some Daisy Dukes. I'm like, that's not working for you. You need to not wear that or spandex. Wouldn't be cracking me up talking about, I wear yoga pants because they're so comfortable. I'm like, lady, them things are tight enough. I can see your blood circulating. That's a lie. You just want men looking at your ass and you ain't even giving up no ass. Most of the women that walk around doing perverted shit like that, most of them are married. And most of them be calling Dr. Laura's show. My husband makes about $300,000 a year. And, well, we don't have sex anymore. But I'm just not, I've been sleeping with my personal trainer. I'll be like, God damn, this dude over here letting this bitch not work. And she up here fucking the personal trainer. Man, it used to hear some of them calls, man. I mean, some dirty bitches. That's why I say, man, the likelihood of me ever getting married again to a woman from this country is highly unlikely. Highly unlikely. I ain't gonna say never. I'm just gonna say highly unlikely. Because she at least gotta be a 5 or a 6. I ain't looking for no 10. I ain't looking for no dime. You ain't gotta be no dime. You just gotta be decent looking. You just gotta be good enough, look good enough to where I feel proud that you my woman. And again, that don't mean you got to be beautiful. Because you ain't going to find no women in America that's beautiful anyway. Dig it? But Dr. Laura's a car-carrying white supremacist Jew. Oh, she's a racist motherfucker. And she's a hardcore feminist. She be telling them women to pretty much just sell your vagina. She'd be like, oh, you're just having sex with him for free. You're an unpaid prostitute. And I'm like, that's why your 71-year-old ass is alone. Man, that bitch looked like an iguana. She is so wrinkled up. She looks like a fucking iguana. I guarantee she taking dildo action. I guarantee ain't nobody over there trying to holler at her old, decrepit, crypt keeper looking ass. She looked like the crypt keeper. It's the crypt. Was it the crypt killer? Remember the crypt keeper? That fucked up perm. Looked like his perm fell out. He had a bad perm. One eyeball be about to pop out. Remember that shit? Tales from the Crypt used to come on HBO back in the 90s, back in the early 90s. Remember that shit? I used to watch the Crypt Keeper because the shit was hilarious. Because it was kind of like a Creep Show. Where my OGs at? Y'all remember Creep Show back in the 80s? Back in the early 80s, Creep Show. They were real funny horror movies. This shit was funny as hell, man. Man, we used to go, boy, used to be number niggas in the theater. We'd be in there clowning. Okay? That's when going to the movies was hilarious. Exactly. Tales from the Crypt on HBO. I used to come on Friday night. Cause my ex would be, yeah, where's my cake, lady? That shit had me cracking the fuck up. I wish somebody would redo that shit, man, because that shit was hilarious. Y'all know that shit was funny. Okay? But that's when movies were real good, though. Dig it. But I'm serious, man. A lot of this stuff that be popping off out here, it ain't by accident. And I wish that we would stop the Samboing and the cooning and pay attention. A lot of brothers don't take no time off for being a coon. A lot of these black women don't take time out being a mammy and a coon and a bed wench. Man, y'all ain't gonna believe this shit. I go to my doctor down here in Portland, right? I go over there. I'm sitting in the waiting room waiting to see the doctor, right? You wouldn't believe the woman that came through there. This woman, I swear to God, this black woman came through there. I couldn't hear her voice. I didn't know whether or not she was African, because there are a lot of Africans up here, believe it or not. More so up in Seattle, though. But you got some here, too. And this woman had a head wrap on her head like a slave. And she had a long dress like them slaves used to wear. I saw this woman. I said, look at this bitch. Look at this Negro bedouin. And she was okay. She wasn't nobody we would date. She wasn't ugly. She had an okay face, but her body was just, I don't care how much good California sour diesel you done smoked, or how much of them shots of Johnny Walker Black Label you done thrown back, ain't gonna make her look any better. Ain't gonna make her look any better. Trust me. And she saw me looking at her. I said, look at this bitch. Negro bed wench. And she was with this goofy looking white dude. Oh, he could have that. He could have that. I could care less. He could have that. Thanks for, like Chris Rock said, thanks for taking her off our hands. Thanks. Scooby-Doo looking motherfucker. What up? But it's too many. We got so many Sambos out here, man. It's an attack of the Sambos. If you a serious black man, I guarantee, after a while, you ain't gonna have any friends. If you're a serious black man, you're gonna meet. It's gonna be far and few to run into other like-minded black men like you. Because most of these brothers, all they care about is maybe they can get some intersectional booty out here. Sometimes they don't even, white girls won't even give them none. They just pat them on the head and they'll take that. I go over here I had to get a key made for my from this new car I bought last year. And I go over to the dealership to get my key made. Cost me a grip too. I had to get this specially made key. So I go over there and, they said, oh, you got to go in the service department. So I went in the service department. It's this old, Grady looking nigga standing up there flirting with the white girl, the service advisor. She was actually the manager. He and he think he putting his Mac down. He's like, old dusty nigga. He wasn't dusty. He was an old dude. Like he in his 60s. But I could tell he didn't like the fact that I was standing up there waiting for his dumb ass to get done trying to lay his Mac down so I can handle business. I didn't come in there to talk to her. And she was a cute white. She actually was pretty in the face. But when she got up, she said, "Oh, I gotta help you at I'm logged out right here. I gotta go get on such and such's computer." So she went and got on this other service advisor, this lesbian looking chick's computer. And she got up and I saw that checkerboard booty. I said, I don't know why he was trying to holler at her ass. Okay, she got up, boy, it was like, okay, she looked like she got hit in the ass with a bag of nickels. I said, this is what this nigga trying to talk. This is who this nigga trying to talk to? This old basic ass bitch. And as soon as I walked up, her face got serious as a motherfucker. All that old shit stopped when I walked up because I wasn't trying to holler. And I made it clear I wasn't trying to holler. I said, hey, I need to get a key made. How long is that going to take? Well, you got 2 people ahead of you. It's going to probably be about 2 hours. I said, well, I'm going to go over here and work out, and then I just come back over here in 2 hours. She said, yeah, just come back in 2 hours. I have it done. I mean, she wasn't nasty enough. But she was all business because she could tell I was all business. But you always get these sorry Sambo ass niggas that act like that guy act. He ain't get shit from her. And I guarantee his ass was married. I guarantee he got some old fat ass angry black woman sitting over there at his house waiting on his ass. Or some old ugly white woman. Looked like Dr. Laura's ass. I see these brothers with these ugly ass white women up here. Exactly. That's why I'll be like, I ain't trying to holler at you. And then when I'll be standing up there not saying nothing, they be uncomfortable. Oh, they be uncomfortable. Oh, excuse me, Mr. Nigger, you're not cooning? The last black guy coons. Why don't you coon? Have you ever had watermelon flavor? I'm like, what did you say? Watermelon flavor. Watermelon flavor what? Oh, yeah, man. I was at a store yesterday. Some old funny looking white girl. At first I thought maybe she might have been retarded because she was a little too nice. And this little funny looking, basic looking chick, she was trying to be all friendly. Oh, what do you, because I bought some food. She was like, well, what are you going to make with this? And I'm like, I'm just going to stuff it up my ass. That's all I'm going to do. I ain't going to do nothing special with it. It's just going to go up my ass. But you see a lot of these black men up here doing that shit. They'll be with some old fat ass white woman with a big old gut hanging over her belt, and she looking like, wish I could get my man in the gym. I'm like, bitch, if you don't stop looking over, just slobbering and just looking like a human hog. That's why they call, Ice Cube is sick, call them the human swine. Because that's exactly how they act. Have you ever gone to a store around these motherfuckers? They'll try to kill you with their baskets. They're so greedy. Just greedy. Like pigs. I don't know how many times I damn near get run over in Whole Foods or Trader Joe's. I'm like, are you that hard up to get food out of here? Half this stuff you can't fix it in here. What you doing? Oh, sorry. Most of the time they don't say anything. They rude as hell on the freeways. You try to get on the freeway, they won't even let you on the freeway. But then again, we on the West Coast too. It's a different vibe out this way. But these people up here ain't got no class. These Caucasians up here, they don't know how to dress. They're sloppy. They don't bathe. A lot of them don't wash their asses, and they be all in these public places. I don't want to get too close to them motherfuckers. Exactly. This area, I already knew there was a bunch of white supremacists up here because of the history. Trump's grandfather owned brothels up there in Seattle area, in Montana and in Idaho. He owned, that's where they got their money from. That's how his daddy got the money to do commercial real estate. People don't know that. They don't know that his grandfather was a pimp. He was the Don Magic Wand of his day. Don Bishop Magic Wand of his day. Without the funny clown suits. Did y'all know that Bishop Don Magic Wand got his own tennis shoe line? Did y'all know that? T Mason 995, where are you? Where are you at? In Florida? He said X-Men filling the blob. That movie was hilarious. Where you ain't in San Antonio, are you? Oh, Memphis. Oh, Memphis is horrible. Little Rock, Memphis, Little Rock just as bad as Memphis. Memphis, man. Memphis, boy, there was a major yayo. I'm telling y'all, man, a lot of that dope slanging, a lot of guys started setting up shop in the South because a lot of those guys didn't necessarily, some of them guys, it took them a while to figure out the game. Because see, the guys in New York, Chicago, LA, those areas, those in Miami, those brothers had more experience at moving product. So them cats in the South, they really wasn't trying to get no dope down there. That's why it was so easy for after Big Meech and all them went to prison. It was for when Black Mafia went down. It was so easy for other crews from other cities to come in and set up shop in Atlanta because they created a vacuum. And Atlanta to this day is still getting carved up by guys coming from out of town. You got the Detroit brothers that are down there. You got St. Louis brothers that are down there. You got New York been slanging down there. Now you got LA cats in the ATL. But you got to take that chance of bringing that product all the way down I-20. See, a lot of cats in Dallas got busted. Dallas. I used to go down to Dallas and party with them dudes. Man, they locked up so many rock men in Dallas. Oh, they decimated Dallas. I remember back in the day, I used to go to the club down there in Dallas in the late 80s. Be niggas in there with fur coats on at the club during the summer. It'd be them 2 Chainz looking niggas in there with fur coats on. Ferraris and shit sitting outside. All them niggas are either dead or in prison. Oh yeah, yeah. Snoop. Wiz Khalifa got a line of paraphernalia, and I think he might even have a line of cannabis. Because I saw his shit when I went up there to Seattle, and somebody was like, "Man, I want to try that Wiz Khalifa, whatever." I was like, "What the fuck?" And then the young sister that worked in there was like, "Yeah, Wiz Khalifa got his own line of weed, and so does Snoop." I said, "God damn." That's why I keep telling people, man, if you guys want to get in on the ground floor, start buying them stocks of them cannabis stocks and them mutual funds. Now, don't deal with nobody that's going to end up on American Greed on CNBC. Don't deal with nobody like that. Let me tell y'all something. If somebody tell you to invest $25,000 and they tell you that you're going to get a 20 to 30% return on your investment, and it's not a securities, dude, you're being scammed. You might want to check for the Nigerian accent because you getting scammed. Ain't no investment going to give you 20 to 30% return, not even 10%. You talk to somebody that does business on Wall Street and they'll tell you, hey, man, if they tell you you're going to get a guaranteed return of anything, even 1%, they lying to you. Yeah, Wiz is both his parents were Air Force. Yeah, he ain't no ghetto nigga. He just know how to flow. Got with the right cats. When if you got any talent and you get in with the right, especially somebody that's that know how to make beats, all you gotta do is get with the right producer and you out there. Well, go. You go set up something on E-Trade, and you can do it yourself, but they're gonna charge you a fee. Or you can go pay if you got enough money, you can go to a broker and say, hey, look, I got 10 grand. I want you to put this in energy stocks, or I want you to buy some bonds with this. No, with $10,000, bonds are traded a little different than that, but get in on it now, because once they take cannabis off the Schedule 1 drug list, DEA, the Schedule 1 list, things are going to change quickly. Because I'm gonna tell you right now, once the major company, the agricultural businesses get into the weed business, it's going to destroy the mom and pop businesses. It's going to destroy it. It's going to destroy it. And that's exactly what's going to happen. Right now, a lot of the pot farms are, the legal ones are mom and pop operations. Maybe they got 3 or 4 acres, and that's it. Oregon weed is garbage. In Washington, you got to be careful up here because they'll sell you anything. But Oregon's weed is total garbage. When I say 100% garbage, I mean 100% garbage. You can get higher off of wintergreen Tic Tacs than you would off Oregon weed. It's the worst shit. That's why sometimes I'll be seeing these Oregon people coming over here getting their weed. Say, man, that Oregon shit ain't no good. I said, oh, you know too, huh? But Washington's weed will fuck you up too. But some of it's good though. You gotta try it. You gotta try different strains. You just gotta see what works. Because some of it, sometimes the higher the THC level don't necessarily mean you're gonna get high. Sometimes it might be 18%, and that shit'll knock you on your ass. Seattle was much more. Seattle and Tacoma got the best. I went to dispensaries up there and I ain't get burnt at all. None of them burnt me. I didn't get burnt by none of them. And that's rare, Because down here, you got some dispensaries down here that ain't worth shit. They high as fuck, and then they got the nerve to be selling garbage. And they're just like a bar. You go in there, they trying to move the old shit. They'll be like, oh, here, try this mulberry bush. This is really good. And you try that shit, you don't even get a buzz. You at the house, man, this is some bullshit right here. And sometimes I go back to them and play, hey, man, you sold me some bullshit. Oh, man, I'm sorry about that. I said, dude, I mean, what's the point of me smoking this shit if I ain't gonna get high? That's a waste of my time. I can get high off a cigarette. Fuck out of here. So you got to watch these motherfuckers down here, man. They'll fuck you in a minute. But I got a couple spots here where I get my shit from. This one got these two badass chicks working there. One thing I notice every time I come in and the dude always jump his ass in front of me. I'm like, I want that little mixed chick to holler at me. But I got two spots where I get my shit from. And one spot, woo, I get some real good shit from them. But they high on, you know, if you want to get an ounce, they high as fuck. You know, they a little too high. Colorado got the best weed. And their shit ain't that high. Well, some of it is, but not all of it. So I'm like, you know, but get in the game now. While the game is still being created, you know what I'm saying? Get in now. Instead of waiting till, see, black folks will sit up here and wait till you can't get in. The common man can't get in, and they be sitting around talking about some racism. It ain't got shit to do with racism. At some point, you got to get off the plantation. If you free your mind, your ass will follow. The problem is a lot of black folks are just scared. But scared is going to get you fucked up. Because these white supremacists ain't just shooting black folks in the South. They shooting black folks all over this country. Because I can tell you of at least two cases that have happened in Minneapolis the last 3 or 4 years. One you know of. The other one didn't see the light of day outside of the Twin Cities. One thing I want to talk about before we end today, I want to talk about having the mindset of your oppressor. If you are not about black empowerment, then you have the mind of your oppressor. I don't think there's any cannabis penny stocks. I think the only thing you can buy right now is like C common stock, which is, I think, mutual fund stocks. You can only buy into mutual funds. I ask for donations from my people because I feel we should be responsible for each other. Having said that, that means that I can't have the mindset of a coon. Now, here's the thing. If you are, see, the ones that are listed with the New York Stock Exchange, those are the only ones you should be buying into. You shouldn't be buying into nothing where they meeting at a courtyard inn. They meeting at a Marriott courtyard in a conference room. I think I've heard of that book, Striving While Black. I think I heard of that book. He must talk about economics and investing. Oh, surviving in a white workplace. I'm gonna have to check that out. Not that I'm going back to the plantation, but I think it'd be an interesting read. I just don't want to end up doing a live stream and somebody come in the chat room and say, hey, man, you know, they gaffled my cousin last weekend and, you know, he in intensive care and shit. I don't want to read that. But somebody gonna get touched like that sooner or later. And that's why I say we got to be on top of shit. If you can, have your Second Amendment game on point. And then if you got them felonies, that still ain't no excuse for you to have something at the crib. At least at the crib. You might not be able to leave the house with it, but at least you got it if you need it. You know what I'm saying? You know, some guys keep they illegal gun in the toilet tank. Hey, you know what, that Jay Morrison dude? I follow Tariq Nasheed on Twitter, and I got a you know how they send you an alert, and he has something listed on there about Jay Morrison, and he had invested some money with Jay Morrison, and I was just like, something just tell me that nigga gonna end up on American Greed. Something tell me that guy gonna end up on CNBC. Y'all ever watch that show on CNBC called American Greed? Check that show out. This shit is funny as hell. I mean, some of the stuff that people be doing on there ain't funny, but it's just a trip how greedy some of these people are. I guarantee this dude gonna end up on there. Cause to me, this dude a felon. So he can't ever get a securities license. He can never get a securities license because he's a felon. Was he in prison? Wasn't he in prison like 20 years or some shit like that? Or 8 years or something? Because he used to be a dope boy, wasn't he? And he talking about he got a fund. He talking about he got white folks running it. But somebody asked, it was like, this dude he can't have a securities license. He's a felon. So how is this his fund? He's like, and I listened to one of them videos you know, I think Tariq might have interviewed him. I was like, he still sound like, that shit sound like a scam to me, man. Yeah, yeah. Teddy Riley got scammed by some sucker ass dude. Because I think, you know, Tariq was not trying to, you know, put all his business out there. Because I was like, well, how can this dude how can he own an investment company and he got he you know, he was in federal prison. It was like, that don't sound right. It just sounds too good to be true, man. That's why you got to tell people the truth. See, the problem is, let me tell you what the problem is, people. When honest people come on and say, hey, look, I want to raise $4 million. This is the building that we want to buy. Now, we've raised $200,000 of our own money, but we need the rest. We need the rest to make up $4 million. Can we get some investors? Give people, you do a prospectus telling what you would do with the money, how you will spend it, where you're going to spend it, when you're going to spend it, and how you're going to spend it, and and how you plan on paying them back. That prospectus has to discuss all that stuff in it. Then you still gotta smooth these people and kiss their asses. And they're still gonna ask a bunch of shitty ass questions that you ain't gonna want to answer. But I guarantee if you tell these people that you can't guarantee anything, they ain't gonna give you a dime. But as soon as you start talking that shit, talking about, oh man, it's guaranteed 15%, 15% return on investment, people get to writing them checks. That's always that has always amazed me, how people will listen to a lie, believe that, and give them all their money, but let an honest guy roll up and they be like, man, I ain't really feeling this, man. So what you gonna guarantee me as a dividend? I ain't guaranteeing anything, because we gonna do the best we can to pay attention to what the market is telling us and make good moves and try to get commercial tenants into this building. That's how we gonna pay you your money back. We need to have at least 96% occupancy in order for us to turn a profit or break even first year, second year. People will be like, I ain't interested. You can't at least guarantee me 0.1%? Nah, can't do it. Because what if we can't do it? Now you taking me to court. Crazy, man. Straight up. Crazy. I know that shit sound ridiculous, but I'm like, people don't want to listen, man. People don't want to do. I'm telling you, man. I've told people, I remember when I was in San Antonio, I was telling this one guy, I was telling him, I said, man, I want to open a drug treatment center and at least have about 6 to 8 beds in there, inpatient. And he was like, well, how much you need to raise? And I said, well, there's this dilapidated house over here. You know, the house is 2-story, got, you know, 2 units in it, 2 bedroom units. And what I was going to do is knock the wall out, get a permit to, and then fix the place up and put like $300,000 or $400,000 into it. Cats wasn't interested. They weren't interested. Now, if I'd have said, oh, well, I'm gonna open this drug treatment center, and then I'm gonna open another one and another one, you're gonna get a 10% return, they would have gave me all their fucking money. See how stupid these people are? There's been times I could have, you know, been mad niggerish and ripped people off back in the day, but I didn't do it because I didn't want to sully my name and my reputation. You know, some of us do have, some of us have a backbone and want to have a clean conscience. Some people don't have a conscience. And most of the people out here have no conscience. You got people out here who will walk right in front of you, get ready to go in a building, and will let the door fly in your face. I've had to damn near beat I don't know how many white people's asses for doing that. They'll look behind you and see you behind them, and they'll just let the door slam in your face. Then when you get ready to whoop their ass, they're up here, well, why are you getting mad? Like, you fucking jerk. They do that shit a lot up here. Just some evil ass fucking people, man. So, you know, if they'll slam the door in your face, there's no telling what they would do to you if they got if they got the drop on your ass and got your money. Like I said, man, there is no guarantee out here to make no money off an investment. And anybody that's honest is going to tell you that. It might not be sexy and it might not be something you want to hear, but at least that person has some integrity, because most of these people have none. They have no decency and they have no integrity. And it doesn't matter whether they're male or female. Don't get fooled. Because a lot of brothers love to see a cheesing female and they think, oh, my interests are protected. She's a mom. There's plenty of single moms out here that done rip people off. Trust me. What everybody gonna get into tonight? Everybody got their couple grams for the night. Y'all, hey, y'all don't hit y'all weed connect. hey, y'all don't hit y'all weed connect already. Everybody done hit the weed man by now. You know, be cracking me up, especially when you up there in Seattle. If you go over there about this time, no, a little earlier. Nah, if you go over there you go to the dispensary about like 2 or 3 o'clock, man, there'd be a gang of motherfuckers in there. There are people getting their weed, especially them couples. They be in there getting their shit. Okay. And on the way home, they're going to go ahead and pick up 2 combo specials with General Tso's. They're going to get a half and half. General Tso's chicken on the left, chicken lo mein on the right. Okay? Y'all know y'all love General Tso's. Y'all know y'all get that puff pass going. You know, it's time to go out there and get you a little midnight snack. And who's open? General Tso's. He said a Chipotle burrito and a bag of Doritos for dinner. Damn, bruh. That sounds like I just got out kind of meal, bruh. There's a Chipotle. Hey. He said General Cat and Dog. Y'all niggas wrong, man. Hey. There's a Chipotle over here by my house. They are total garbage. Total garbage. Frenchies. Man, them Frenchie puppies be like 4,000. I'll be like, what? Only thing about them dogs, they when they get older, they susceptible to getting sick because of how their little face is made. Shit, I'm scared to go to a Chipotle now, man. I got burnt. This Chipotle is about a half a mile from me. Man, they done burnt me twice. I went over there and got a burrito. Man, that burrito tastes like shit. It tastes like some shit it tastes like something from that Subway would make. It was garbage. It was all cold. Man, that burrito was cold. I was like, man, what's up? Man, you know it ain't gonna be hot by the time you get home. But what I used to do is they cut it in half. So I'll take one half and put it in my convection oven and put it on low, and then I eat the other half. And by the time I'm done with the other half, I'm almost full, but I still want to eat the other half because it tastes all right the next day. I wouldn't go past the next day. I've never let them sit in my refrigerator past the next day. I'll put it in a freezer bag and put it in the refrigerator. But this Chipotle right here got a lot of little young white kids working in there. They are garbage. Okay, they are total garbage. But there is a Wendy's right here I might hit up after I get off the air. There's a real good Wendy's over here by my house, and the Jack in the Box is garbage. Jack in the Crack. That's one of the worst Jack in the Boxes I've ever been to. And it's a brother that managed it too. And he be sitting up there messing up on your order. They be messing up on your order. Then you go back up in there, man. The brother be getting, how you gonna be the general manager of a restaurant? You get an attitude. Just like I ain't been there since. They burned my ass about 4 or 5 months ago. I ain't been back. Oh, Freebirds. I don't know about Freebirds, man. I went to that one that's up there on Hebner and I-10. Have you ever been to that one? There's one right there on Hebner. I think it's on the other side of the 10. It's over there by Which Sandwich in San Antonio. Yeah. Over on by De Zavala. Over there. Which side of town you on? Yeah, it's over there on the west side. It's over there by UTSA. But it's a couple. It's one. That's the only location I think I've been to, and it was okay. It wasn't bad, but I've never been there. Oh yeah, there's a lot of brothers on here that served in San Antonio, lived in San Antonio. God damn. What is this? The Stank Antonio connection? Shit, nigga, I need to form a Facebook group called Veterans that lived in Stank Antonio. God damn, man. Man, you about the 5th brother, man. That's a veteran, man, that at some point lived in San Antonio. I'm serious. That is crazy. Oh man, that's crazy. That is fucking crazy. I ain't been back to San Antonio. Man, I ain't got no reason to go to San Antonio unless somebody I still got some business interests in San Antonio, but I don't need to be there. I don't need to be there. But yeah, a lot of people are moving from the Bay Area. They're moving up here. Talking about ain't no jobs in the Bay Area and it's too expensive. But how you gonna move up here and be moving furniture, working for a moving company? It's like, dude, what kind of stupid shit? How you gonna be moved to another area and doing a fucked up job and shit. Because, you know, every time I get furniture, you know, the people that deliver usually be Mexican dudes. I'm like, where you from? I'm like, oh, we from the Bay Area. I'm like, you gonna move up here to be delivering furniture, motherfucker? You ain't gonna want to do that shit when your ass get my age. Because when I see them old dudes my age doing that kind of work, I'm like, this dude been in the pen. This guy been in penitentiary right here. I bet San Antonio burning up right now. It's burning up. Okay. I don't miss that motherfucker at all. I don't miss San Antonio for a minute. Every time I go to the doctor over here at the VA or one of these private doctors, man, they always ask, where you moved from? I said, man, I moved from San Antonio. I was like, ain't it real hot down there? I said, yeah. Fuck it too. And they got a bunch of broke bitches too. Did you know that? No, I hadn't heard that. Bunch of po ass hoes with their hand like this. Hand look like cups. Just so, man, San Antonio chicks is just pathetic. They are pathetic. I mean, you got some pathetic women all over this country, because I don't think there's any women more pathetic than some of them women in Alabama and Georgia. Some of I mean, I've never seen ghetto like this they have in like Birmingham and Atlanta. Oh man, that level of ghetto, I ain't been around that kind of country ghetto. Just ugh. Oh, Offutt in Nebraska. ATL, shawty. Hey, Offutt, hey, they got some decent looking women around there now. Is that right outside of Lincoln? Oh, I'm Omaha. Right. Omaha. Oh yeah, ain't shit in Omaha. That must have been a sack base. There had to be a sack base. That had to be the sack base. Yeah. Strategic Air Command. I hate Strategic Air Command bases. Oh, I hate them mugs. Oh, they're the worst bases, dude. My last base was a sack base, air refueler base. Hated them motherfuckers. Hated them. Mac and TAC bases were the best. You ever get stationed down there in Homestead before they closed Homestead? My frat brother, who's a 3-star general, he used to be an F-16 pilot down there. Yeah, I've been to Tyndall Air Force Base up there by Tampa. Tyndall Air Force Base, that's a TAC base. There's another base that's near there too. They're both TAC bases. See, all the military installations used to be the place to go party, but the locals ruined it. The locals in all these cities ruined it. Now, Randolph, they still have something. They have something like a happy hour, but who gonna drive all the way up to, up FM 78 or get on 1604 to go all the way around to go to Randolph? Now, overseas, they still have stuff. They still have stuff on the bases overseas. But, when you go overseas, you ain't staying near no military installation. I was going to go up here to the Navy bases up here, but shoot, a lodging, they full. They're full till after the summer. Because I wanted to go up there and see how they get down. But look here, man. Let me get up off of here. Hey, everybody, make sure you go to asktheiceman.com. Scroll down to the donate button and donate $10 today. Today is $10 Saturday. We don't have any fundraising drives going right now. But like I tell you guys, I always fundraise all year round because it's a nonprofit. That's how we raise capital. So even though we may not be doing the book bag thing until next year, until next spring, usually around January, February is when we start fundraising for the coming school year. That's how that works. All right. So, but anyway, you guys, enjoy your General Tso's chicken. Make sure you don't drink and drive because, the popo will be out there making drunk stops after about 10 p.m. So make sure if you're going to go over your girl's house, you say, look, baby, don't start no argument tonight. I got to stay tonight because I ain't finna drive home at 3 o'clock in the morning with liquor on my breath. Because you're going to have some splaining to do when you driving down the street and you got Southern Comfort on the breath. You digs? I don't want you to go out like a sucker. You digs? But we're gonna go ahead and sign off. Facebook. Go to asktheiceman.com, y'all. Go over there. Again, we're always fundraising. Go to asktheiceman.com. You can also get my book, The Game of Life, according to the Iceman Volume 1. Go over there and subscribe. So we're gonna call it a night, y'all. But enjoy your night. But we'll reconvene next Saturday about the same time. I'm trying to start a little earlier, man, because I usually want to be out. I'm gonna try to make it so I'm off of here by 4 or 5 o'clock. But y'all didn't keep me from my damn wings this week. No, I went ahead and ate dinner before I got on here. Usually I try to do it after I get off from here, but I didn't want to be eating dinner this late at night, So, but anyway, y'all have a good weekend. Be safe. I'll holler at y'all next time.